What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kinda Funny podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer slash seducer, the star of the newest t-shirt on kindafunny.com/store, Nick Scarpino.
Ki, Greg.
Ki, how did you feel making that? How did Dee feel when she walked by and saw you doing karate moves, yelling Ki over and over again?
She just had actually randomly one question. She was like, so you put the top part of your gi on, but you just decided to wear jeans and house slippers for the rest of it.
Kevin, can you throw it up in case people don't know
like,
we're seeing? You can just play it on the background. You don't have to let it go. Or whatever.
Yeah,
I know Kevin. If everybody remember, Kevin had to blow up his setup, so he's still rebuilding it. So I understand if it is impossible. Yeah, that was what Gary Whitta was caught off guard by too. That you were in the gi and then jeans. That was what he had commentary on Games Daily for.
You know, Greg, when you're making the frappuccinos, when you're doing jazz, you don't know what's going to happen. And I just thought, I'm not going to stand up. I don't need to stand up for this. Matt Batson can make CGI legs for me if I want them to. And then I decided to stand up and throw a kata out.
Those are mo-capped Andy Serkis' legs.
That'll do.
Oh, God. Oh, sorry. I was way too loud.
Now, Kevin, you had a question for Nick?
Yeah, what was... No, it was... Oh, that's the wrong... No, I got to go in here.
This is good enough. This shows what we want. This shows what we want.
Where's the 6 cam? There it is. Whoop. All right. Gary Whitta kept calling them something, the jeans.
Gary Whitta was asking if they were Chuck Norris fighting jeans, because apparently Chuck Norris at one point sold jeans specifically for kickboxing when you wanted to go out and kickbox.
Oh, no. I didn't know about those.
I don't know about those either. And I'm not saying they didn't exist. There you go. There you are, right there. Perfect. Jeans.
Yeah.
They didn't exist. It just doesn't seem like a great thing. Because Blessing, if I sold you a pair of fighting jeans, when would you wear these jeans?
When I'm fighting.
Sure, but like when are you going to be fighting?
You never know.
I mean, I don't know. I might take up Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
I feel like those are the kind of jeans you would buy, and if you bought, you're like, well, fuck, give me 4 pairs because I'm retiring all my jeans. Because I know my luck. I would go out in my normal jeans, then that would be the time I would need the fighting jeans. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Tim, you had your hand up. What was it?
Yeah, can I say something weird, guys?
No. Yeah.
Kevin, can you please bring up the video that you just had and at the still that you just had it on?
I mean, infamously, I definitely can't at the still that we just had it on.
Just let me see Nick in those jeans, in dem
hold
jeans. Okay, thank you very much.
There you go. Scroll back.
Infamously,
there you go. Perfect.
When we did the whole episode, yeah, right here's perfect. When we did the episode where we talked about the wiki feed, I infamously said that I am very impressed with Nick's feet. Like I legitimately think Nick has nice feet. I am not a foot person, but I've always been very impressed with Nick's bare feet. And I gotta say, I'm really surprised with Nick's legs in this shot. Like I've never in my life thought about Nick having nice legs at all. Those are some good looking legs. I've never seen Nick look good in jeans. Now, I'm not saying that you look bad in jeans normally. You're rocking these fucking jeans right
so far, Nick, so far you're batting 1,000 from the waist down from Tim.
Exactly. We're gonna have to keep going to find out a couple other things.
I was gonna say maybe it's time we take off them jeans. We really get to get to the story here. Get to the heart of the matter.
Lord. Oh no.
Yeah, just so you're wondering, Greg, it's not the fact that the jeans are a little too tight that's the lowest I can go. That's just the lowest I can go in that particular position.
Jeans are a great thing to blame on, you know.
Yeah.
Of course. Rounding out one of the other 6 spots on this podcast, he's Forbes 30 under 30, aka the second best baby blues in San Francisco, aka the verified one at Tim Geddes.
Let Tim host. Nick, yesterday on the Gamescast, we introed it and we were going around and I was, doing all the intros to each person and Roger was joining us. And Greg said something about round. And I segued it saying, speaking of round. And what I was trying to say is, speaking of round, rounding out our group is Roger Bercorny.
Yeah.
But Andy jumped on it so fast and called me out on being an asshole that I panicked and went into full panic mode of oh my God, this is Roger's first time on Gamescast. And I'm literally just fucking segueing, calling him round.
Nick, Tim waffled on it so fast, you would think Tim just released an NFT. That's how fast he retracted it. The words were out of his mouth and he was already apologizing and had the tweet and the image ready to go that he was sorry to Roger.
Can I ask you, Greg, can I ask Tim a question?
Yeah, you can.
What is that like to say something that you immediately regret saying? It must be weird, right?
No, Nick, I want you to know it was so bad. And I fuck up on content a lot. It happens, right? But Yesterday was special because I did it and I finally felt what it feels like to be Nick, to say something and have Andy jump on it so quickly that it throws you off track. You're like, fuck, I need to get back on. I don't know what I'm doing. So what did I do? Did I double down and go, oh, hey, I actually meant to say, and speaking of rounding out the group. I apologized profusely. And then I was like, what I meant to say was, and my mind blanked. And I had no idea what I originally was trying to say. And I was like, well, now I have to say something or else I'm going to look like an asshole. So I said, this is what I said, Nick. It's because your face is round.
Yeah. So you double down. So you
inadvertently again.
Yeah. But listen. Did it break the tension? Did it do what it needed to do? Because sometimes a perfectly placed double down joke can just deflate everything and everyone's having a great time.
I think we got there at the end of it all. I definitely called Roger immediately after we ended the podcast, and I was like, dude, I am so sorry. And he knows, he gets it. It is what it is.
When you backtracked, it's clear that you meant like that he has a shaved head. And it just still came out worse, like somehow.
It just kept going down.
Yeah,
I appreciated this morning when Roger tweeted about it. He was like, "Baby's first games cast," and it's another one of those where you take it for granted, right? That we've just been doing these shows for so long. There's no milestones for us anymore. We just do this until we die. Roger just shows up. He's done his first kind of funny review for Lego Star Wars. All right. It's like 3, 2, what? You're round. What? Fuck, just punch him right in the face and you're like, now review this game.
I feel like most people too underrate like the amount of effort it takes to do a review. Like Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga is a 20-hour game. That means, and I don't know how long he's had the code. I don't think it's been for that long. So he spent the last week of his life just like playing this game, reviewing it, trying to figure out what he's going to say about it, how he's going to talk about it. And I'm sure he had the pressure building up. So to come into Gamescast and get like greeted with the roundness.
Tim, the insult comic. Here he comes, ready to go.
Incredible, Tim.
We love to see it. Of course, our final member of the usual four, of course, is the Hispanic heartthrob Texas treat, Latino heat, clicking heads and ripping them to shreds, the globe-trotting, head-shotting, nitro rifle from twitch.tv, Andy Cortez.
I've been looking forward to this day since the events of Saturday occurred, and I can't wait to talk about it with you all.
Of course, yeah, we have a whole recap here we're going to do of what happened this weekend. But before we get any there, Louis G writes into patreon.com/KindaFunny and says, Andy, how many salads have you eaten this week? Nick, you can pretend like you're the one who asked this if you want.
Andy, salad checks. How many salads? What are we at?
It's the last podcast. I've only had 2 salads.
Shame.
And that's because over...
You're doing well. Your last number was like 12.
Well, that was over like 2 weeks.
How many mini carrots have you had, though?
6 per week
since then.
Mini carrots? I'd say like 12, 13 maybe.
Okay.
In addition to the cucumber and the lettuce and the spinach and everything like that. I'm pretty full. I had a pretty good lunch today, salad wise. Had a rough night, guys. I had the hot snakes this morning.
Ooh,
oh, no.
I don't like those.
Never good.
And the hot snakes all morning.
Jesus.
I only get those when I eat.
I have never heard it referred to that way, and I hate that you said that. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It was like 5, 6 in the morning, 7 in
What'd
the
you
morning,
have
8
last
in the
night?
morning.
Too many tacos? What'd you do?
Nah, I gotta blame it on the Popeyes. I like that you gotta blame it on the Popeyes. No, you gotta. It's just the Popeyes. You don't have to. There's not like there was a lineup of food you ate, and it was definitely the Popeyes. No one even looked at the other 2 suspects.
Yeah, I also love that you're just downtrodden to have to blame the Popeyes. Like you don't want to have to, but the DA caught you in a lie, and you're like, damn it, I'm gonna go to jail if I don't blame the Popeyes.
I have to rat out the Popeyes. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. He's Forbes 30 under 30, aka the future class of gaming, aka the OK Beast. Blessing Eddie Oye Jr.
Andy B table.
I don't understand that photo. I need to have that explained to me when we get there. I need to have that. And so, yeah, rounding out all 6 of us, ladies and gentlemen, he's the master of hype. It's SnowBikeMike.
Yo, what up? Thanks for having me on the pod.
What's with the attitude?
Storytelling.
Are you fucking mad at me for putting you last? Jesus, I didn't expect that. Usually there's a smile and a thanks.
I'm gonna put your ass in a headlock in the ring. Get it going.
It's gonna break
If
your
you didn't
ankle.
know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Kind of Funny podcast. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 6 best friends gather on this table, each coming to bullshit with each other about whatever it is they want to bullshit about. If you want to be a part of that, you can go to patreon.com/kindafunny to write in. And I'll give you this early, all right? But at the end of the show, I'm going to ask you this. WW Wayne wrote in and asked this question. It was Andy's 5th anniversary of joining Kind of Funny this past weekend. What are the other guys' favorite moments with Andy throughout those 5 years? We will get back to that question by the end of the show. Start thinking about your things now. Over on patreon.com/kindafunny, you could write in questions like that. You could get the show ad free. You get it with the exclusive post show we do each and every week. Or you could be like Cooper, Chance, or the Lou, who are all watching live right now in the Trog chat on patreon.com/kindafunny. If you have no bucks tossed our way, no big deal. Of course, use the creator code KindaFunny over on the Epic Game Store, Fortnite, Rocket League, wherever you're playing those games. Of course, you can get the episode, each and every episode of the Kind of Funny podcast for free on youtube.com/kindafunny, roosterteeth.com, and podcast services around the globe each and every week. Housekeeping for you. Like I said, Nick knows every martial art. You should go check out the new shirt over at kindafunny.com/store. Thank you to our Patreon producer.
Oh no.
Produces James
We had to do
Davies.
AHL without him. Now we have to do the fucking Kind of Funny podcast.
Why is it like this? Why is Discord got to be like that when we're in the middle of stuff? Thank you to our Patreon producers, Nathan Lamoth, Delaney Twinning, Gordon McGuire, James Davis, a.k.a. at James Davis Makes, Fargo Brady, Pranksky, Anonymous. Today we're brought to you by Chime, DoorDash, and Baffle. But as Kind of Funny Kevin is popping off in my DMs, real nice. We always celebrate everyone's work anniversary. Real fucking rad. It's also worth pointing out, I guess, Kevin's work anniversary happened recently.
It was like a week and a half ago.
Why
It's
am I
fine.
in trouble,
Go fuck
Kevin?
yourself.
I
Go
didn't even
fuck
the
yourself.
fucking kids
You know,
wrote in
here's-
about it.
here's-
Fucking
here's-
WW
I
Wayne
noticed-
wrote in about it.
I noticed that you remember Andy. You know what I mean? Barrett.
I
got
didn't.
one fucking
I
shout
said
out.
it-
Remember
I
with
said
Joey
you
like
to me.
2 weeks ago? I hope you fucking choke. How's that? I hope you're eating fish. I hope you're eating fish, and there's a little fucking bone in there,
Little bone,
and you
little
just
sharp
The
bone.
choke.
joke's
I
on
hate
you.
the
I would
fucking
never
bones.
be caught dead eating fish unless it was raw. We'll get to all this later. What?
We'll
Cooked
get to-
fish?
we'll get to
Get
that
the
later?
fuck out of
He
here.
only eats raw fish.
Are we getting to the fish
Like a
later?
pokey, or a sushi. I'm all
What about
it.
ceviche? Would you
Cooked
dabble
fish?
in
Yeah,
Get the
ceviche
fuck
is okay. Is
outta
that
here,
cooked though, or is that
really?
raw too though?
I mean, it's cooked in acid.
Sure, but that's not the same.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Basically, I'm
saying.
saying that you have a nice piece of fish, you should eat it raw,
Mhm.
or at the very least fry it.
Well, they could.
But
still
when
have
you do
bones
anything
in
else
it.
with it, there's never been a piece of fish I've had where I'm like, you know what? I'm glad I spent money on this. I could have had a granola bar. Right? I could eat anything else in the world. I don't get how much was this flounder, all right? This habasu. Is that a fish? I don't know. How much was this?
I thought he was gonna say I could have had a steak. I could have had the chicken plate. No, he went to I could have had a granola.
I'm not, because that's how low it is. Of course, I'd
That's
rather have a steak. What a
mind-blowing.
stupid thing to say. You know
You
what I mean?
wouldn't
That's what I'm saying.
Like a grilled salmon you wouldn't have.
No, God. So
Oh
Jen makes
my
me eat salmon all the time. And I'm just like,
God.
bleh, bleh. And then you always
Salmon's
get a little bit of bone
fantastic.
here or there. A little piece of bone pops up. You're like, oh, this is
With the
fun.
salmon?
I
I've
love
never
playing
had
Russian roulette.
Is the
This is just like
implication
eating an apple on Halloween. Is there a razor blade in it or not? I don't know. I'm glad I'm fucking paying through the nose. Could have had a goddamn Cliff Bar, all right? Cliff Bar's better than fish. There you go. I said it.
Tweet it out. Tweet it
Audio
out,
listeners,
Mike.
he just picked up a Cliff Bar out of nowhere. It was very impressive. Also, is the implication that raw fish aren't going to have bone? They're less likely to have bone?
I've never run into it. I've never had a sushi or a poke where I've had
That's-
to worry about
I
a
was,
bone.
I guess that's
I
a
was
good
just
point.
thinking that. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That
Here
is
it
a
is.
surprisingly good point.
Somebody's like, hey, I got a sauteed sole for you. You're like, well, put it through the wood chipper. Let's grind up all the bones. All right?
Please,
Somebody else
do me a
chew
favor
this
and
for me
blend
and
that.
spit it in my mouth. And don't even get me fucking started on crabs. All right? Oh
Yeah.
my God, crabs, if you're listening, you're delicious, but you're too much work. Who has the time?
I think about lobster.
I'm sucking on the knuckle. I'm cracking in my teeth. Like, fuck off. You know what I mean?
I just
I went
wasn't
out for
expecting.
Jen and I went for a steak night the other night. We went on a nice date night or whatever over at Epic Steak. And I was like, you know what? Let's live large. We were splitting one of the big steaks and they had a little lobster thing. And I stopped the guy. I'm like, listen, it's not as bad as a crab. I have a policy here where I don't want to work for it. Is this a whole lobster? I got to go with the
You have a
cracky
policy?
cracks and do the thing? And he's like, no, sir. It's already like all taken off. I'm like, oh my God, perfect. This is what people waste their time with soda machines. You hit the tab, you get a Coke. I want one where I hit the tab and I get the crab.
I hit the tab.
It's coming out like soft serve. Nick knows what I'm saying.
exactly
Who
what you're
has
saying.
the time?
I
You're
just
all
wanna
wet
pour-
and gross, and you're setting the brains and the poop. It's
Yeah.
not worth it. Get out of here.
No, it's not worth it.
I'm just
Rowley
at
in the
night,
chat says crabs if you're driving, pull over.
at night. I'm gonna be thinking about. I don't want a flounder. Why did you say it like that?
Well, again, when I was trying to come up with the other fish I was thinking of, you know what I mean? I couldn't
You
come
went
up
into
with
like I
hibachi
don't
or
know.
something.
You went into like a kufufu. What did you say? What
I don't
words were
know.
you
It's
saying?
already gone. It's a word that I know isn't a fish,
Like a
but it was
halibut?
there.
Or
Oh, halibut's
No,
good.
something similar
That's
to
a
that.
good
Though.
fish
No,
right there,
halibut's.
though.
Well, get out of here.
It's a great fish.
All these fish. You
like
eat
a
a fish and it's
lobster,
just
you
got
know
that
what I mean?
texture and no taste.
oh, you're fucking crazy.
You're eating the wrong
dude.
kind of fish. You're
Yeah, you're in the wrong kind of fish.
Havasu. That's what I said, Lulu. That's right. I don't know what that is. I said it. I know it's a word. Havasu. Yeah.
It's a lake.
Is there a fish that lives inside it known as Havasu?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I just know that Havasu's a lake, man.
Now, hold on.
I'm sure
a
there's
minute,
lots
because
of
that's
fish
an
in there.
interesting. That is an interesting, like, what the fuck's going on inside here? That I was looking for a fish and I came up with a body of water. Like,
I
I'm
think you're trying to say
close.
halibut.
Like checks out.
Me too. He's 1 second away from saying Mount Vesuvius, like for some reason.
Well, as you know, I can't say that word, so I would be something very
You
different.
can't say Vesuvius?
Now, remember from when we were one of the in reviews we did where Loki and then when
right.
I tried to power through and you guys stopped me cold. You're like, no. What did you just say?
Yeah. We've been there.
Tim, you all went to Achievement Hunter Live this weekend. What was that like?
Wait, real quick,
Yeah,
Greg.
we did.
Greg,
You know,
real
it was
quick.
it was incredible. I'm
Wait, hold
gonna
on.
set.
Kevin's trying to stop us. Someone's trying to stop us. Who's stopping us?
Oh, I was just wanted to, like, I found this. Maybe it'll be helpful. Where is it?
Hold on, everybody. We've got some visual aids here.
So these are the fish that are available at Lake Havasu.
Is there one that says Havasu? We got a
Imagine if there's a
largemouth
fish
bass, a
soup.
striped bass, a bluegill, a black crappie,
Oh my God.
red ear, sunfish, channel catfish, flathead catfish. No.
You gotta imagine that the catfish just tastes awful, right, Greg? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
No,
stuck in
that's
there,
not
it's sucking
bad.
up all
No,
the
it's
mud
not
and
bad.
shit.
That's
You've
gotta
never
suck.
had a catfish?
No, I've
it's
had it. It
pretty
tastes like
good.
every other stupid fucking fish.
No,
Oh,
that's
No,
not
it doesn't,
bad.
dude. You go to
Yeah.
dude, if you go to like any sort of like
it's a nice place.
Louisiana type restaurant,
Uh-huh.
you're gonna get like super spicy catfish, pour a bunch of lemon on it. It's oh my
my
god,
God.
it's delicious.
I'm gonna get
some
the
fish and
shrimp
chips.
pool boy. All right, I'll do that.
Cajun is the
'Cause-
word I was looking for.
Because that's the thing about shrimp, all right? You might
Oh,
say, whoa,
yeah.
Greg, wait a
Cajun
second. Aren't
shrimp.
shrimp a lot of work too? Shrimp are way less work than crabs and lobsters because it is if you got them on the shell, you tear off their little legs, you tear off their little armor plating, and there you go. You're eating a shrimp, and it's a good amount of meat. Whereas the crab is the guessing game. Crab, you never had those things you get on
Yeah.
like New Year's where you pop them and what's inside, you don't know,
Mhm.
That's what a crab leg is. Is there going to be a lot of meat in here? Is there just going to, am I going to pop it and it's like a little whiff of smoke's going to come out? I wasted all my fucking time. Nick?
You know what, Greg? I'm kind of with you on this one. I'm kind of
Thank
with you on like fish. It's one of those things where like every time I go to a fish restaurant, I'm like, I don't really want fish.
No.
I end up ordering steak every single time.
When
Someone
you
wants
go
to
to
put a
fish
little.
Why are you at a
restaurant.
fish restaurant?
Yeah.
People want to take me places, blessing.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they
True.
do. They
True.
do.
None of this is true.
They just want to take me
Who's
places.
this person?
None
And
of
who
this
am I
is
to say
true.
no to you if you go, oh, Nick, I want to take you to a fancy fish restaurant? I go, okay, let's go to a fancy fish restaurant, but I'm going to order steak. And I'm with Greg on this one. Like, they bring the lobster. I'm like, what, I got to kill this fucking thing too? Do I have to go into the ocean and kill this lobster and bring it to you to boil? But I
None
will
of
say the
this
last time I went, I've never felt more baller than the last time I went to a fish restaurant with my brother. And he was like, you want to get some crab and some lobster? And I was like, yeah. And I said the same thing. I was like, it's too much work though. I don't want to do it. He goes, oh, no. For an exorbitant fee, they will de-shell it all for you
Oh,
and
my
bring it to
God.
your table.
See?
And it was just a pile of lobster, no shell in sight,
Yeah.
with just butter and like
Butter?
lemon wedges.
Oh,
it
it's
was
so good.
it was
That's
it was
good
pretty
stuff right
good, but
there.
still but really all you're tasting is just the smell of fish and butter. That's all you're tasting when it comes to fish and lobster. I don't like lobster. I gotta go answer. I think it's just
Oh, that's insane.
It's overpriced.
This is crazy.
Crab is fine
That
if
is
you mash it
insane.
up and throw some seaweed
you're
and some
crazy.
rice.
Yeah, that's the
around it.
thing is that right now in the chat, and you understand, of course, this is escalated to places I wasn't expecting. So I'm a little bit on the defensive right now, right? Imagine, Blessing, you come home one day and there's a raccoon trapped in your room right now and it's running to the corners of the room. That's me right now, all right? I'm disoriented. I don't know how I got here. I just want to go back to my family.
Scared. He just wants to go home.
Anyway, Josh G in the chat says, eat a crab cake. And I'm not sure if that's an attack or an agreement with me. Because crab cakes are delicious.
But the crab cake is not crab,
some other sad motherfucker sat there with the hammer smashing this fucking thing, getting the little pieces of shell out or trying to. Inevitably, you're going to get a piece of fucking shell in your mouth.
But here's what I'll say. Though. The crab cake, that's it's good. But it's not 100% crab, right? When you get a fillet of fish, it's just fish that's been grilled, and usually it doesn't really taste like anything except for the smell of fish. Crab cake, you're mixing in like breadcrumbs, you're mixing in all sorts of cheese and mayonnaise and eggs and shit like that. You might as well be eating a hamburger. But so that's fine. The crab cake, cute, right? They're coming around with the hors d'oeuvres. Like, you want a crab cake? Of course I want a crab cake. I don't think of that as real crab, though. If someone had a crab cake and a lobster, I'd be like, give me the crab cake because it tastes better.
Of course. Yeah, of course. Okay, that's fair.
I put it up on the Kind of Funny Twitter poll. Do you like cooked fish? Yes or no?
Thank you.
These results might shock you. You know what I mean? I often think about it, like, you know how I'd like to be able to rewind time, like Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
In this, I also have, I don't know, wish. I got the genie, don't fuck me thing. I'd like to just see if it's just on a Monday I said, all the fish are gone.
What? All the fish are gone. On a Monday, he said all the fish are gone.
Greg Miller, just no more mutants fish.
And it's, you know what's savage about that statement? He didn't even wait till Friday. He had to do it on a Monday, so we had the whole week to understand that there are no fish.
I'm rewinding time. It's a Monday experiment, and then wait and see. By Friday, how fucked up is everything? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because everybody's always like, oh man, you know, butterfly effect, and you know, everything's got its purpose. What if I just eliminated all the fish?
Oceans would be real boring.
They got raptured. It turns out someone misinterpreted the Bible. It wasn't about us. It was about fish. It was a fish Bible. They've all been raptured. Now there's nothing.
Them and Kirk Cameron just got raptured.
I'd be very upset.
Achievement on her life.
Now here's the deal. I'm learning something. I'm learning something very valuable about Kind of Funny and its legacy, and that is the pandemic has changed us all.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime that we get the rare occurrence to all get together and be around each other in person, it elevates the content. It makes us all energetic. We understand what's going on, and then we get on this Kind of Funny podcast and we know it's about to be a good time. Last time we did this was 4th of July, right? Last year, when we had Mike come down, we looked at the studio for the first time. We got skunked. It was a whole thing. And that was, I'll say, the greatest Kind of Funny podcast we have ever done. I have a feeling this is up there in the pantheon of greatest episodes. I know we're in the beginnings of it right now, but we're already off to a great start. And it's all because we all got to hang out last weekend and have a fantastic time together at Achievement Hunter Live. If you guys don't know, it's essentially Kind of Funny Live, but it's Achievement Hunter's version. Our friends from down in Austin, Texas, they're part of Rooster Teeth. Alfredo's a part of it. Jeff, Michael Jones, all the people you've seen on the show for the last couple of years here and there, if you're not a fan of them. Otherwise, you already know who they are, and they are much bigger deals than any of us ever will be. But we were invited to be a part of their West Coast tour. They went to San Francisco. They went to Seattle. They went to LA. The craziest thing about this entire story is that Alfredo and Jack Patillo came to the old Kind of Funny studios 3 years ago now to promote our appearance at Achievement Hunter Live in San Francisco 2 weeks before the pandemic happened.
Oh, God damn.
And they had to cancel those shows. So literally there are Games Daily episodes with like Jack and Alfredo coming in and fucking around and us talking about it. And the appearances, I don't remember what shows they were on, but they were on shows. I mean, shit, it might have even been KFAF back then. Who the hell knows? I
think it may have been like Gamescast possibly or something like that.
Whatever it was, they were literally promoting the show that we just did this weekend. So that is absolutely insane to think about. But also, it kind of created a different level of energy for this show because it was the first time that they were back on stage. It was the first time that we were back on stage. But more than that, it was the first time we were all together making something happen in a very, very, very long time. Now, of course, there is the major giant asterisk that is the biggest bummer of all of this, that Greg Miller could not be a part of it. He just had little baby BJ. He had to be safe. Couldn't risk being around that many people, all of that. Obviously, the event was as safe as possible. All of us vaccinated, boosted, all of that. Everybody that was
sure, but it wasn't you I was
audience.
worried about. It's all these lying, thieving, disgusting, grubby hand, dirty achievement hunter fans. God only knows what they were getting into. You know,
They required booster proof, and they require either booster proof or a recent test proof.
Well, I've heard it both ways.
Yeah.
No, we
So
did at one
obviously-
point get so drunk we started just licking the ground, Greg. So I don't know.
That'll do it.
I
That'll
don't
do
know
it.
if that was something you would want to be down for or whatever.
So I'm just giving the preamble here because I just kind of want to set the stage of what the
Preamble.
event was.
Good
We got set up for we had a 4 p.m. call time on Saturday. I want to say it was, and we all show up. All the people that you see here were the members of the on stage segment. Barrett and Kevin both came through to support us from the audience, and with that, we got to go hang out backstage with everybody, do the show, all of that. But it was us hanging out as a group from 4 p.m. till 3 a.m.
No, that's bad news. That's gonna be a bad time. That's gonna end with
And we
badly.
have so many stories. And now again, I'm about to pass the baton here, but I just want to set it up correctly that this is the first event in KindaFunny history that was not led by the face of the company, Greg Miller.
Me.
And I could not be more proud of every single member of this panel right now for stepping it the fuck up. And everyone in their own unique way realizing that Greg is the heart and soul of all this shit. We all fucking know it. Obviously, like jokes aside, everything fucking, all the bullshit and whatever, Greg Miller is the best of us. And we have all learned so much from him. And I did not realize, I mean, I've always realized it, but I didn't realize it to this degree until this show. When I saw all of us step the fuck up and be like, you know what? We're all going to be Greg Miller tonight. We're all going to fucking do it. And every one of you did. And I'm so proud of you. And Greg,
did you have to give him a pep talk? Did you have to get him drunk before?
Well, I didn't.
We didn't
I
have to
didn't.
get
I
anyone.
didn't have to. Someone else might have had to. And we're going to get to that in just a fucking second. And it
Tim,
might not be the person you expected. But I
Can
just
I-
want to say, thank you, Greg Miller, for everything that you've ever done, for leading this company. You've led a great group of people, and
Thank
you've given
you,
all
Greg.
of us.
Thank you, Greg.
Greg.
Thank you, Greg.
Hype him up, hype him up, hype him up.
No,
We're gonna miss
it was
you,
just
Greg.
real talk though. It was like obviously you're not retiring. Obviously you're still with us and stuff. But like I was very touched by the fact that even not having the foundation and the heartbeat of what KindaFunny is, because every live show we do, you were at the front, and we are all around you, and we're all great. We've always been great. There's never been a show that I've walked away from being like, oh, we didn't fucking bring it. But being able to bring it without you, I thought was a very special moment for KindaFunny, and I think that it was a random series of events that led to that happening. But again, shout out to everyone here for fucking being super awesome. Mike, I want to just throw the ball to you to take it from here. Start explaining the story. Or sorry, Nick, you had your hand raised.
I was just gonna say, I kind of want to do what they do with movies, where they like start at the end and then go back to the beginning. Because Kevin, let me know if you're not comfortable with me talking about this. We had the funniest text exchange at the very end of the night.
I mean, the end for some, just so you know, is the end for some people, not all of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So my end was me in an Uber after having just had the melt with SnowBikeMike, Kevin Spaceman X, and Clarissa, who is one of the coordinators of Rooster Teeth, and she coordinated Achievement Hunter Live. I get a text from Kevin Coelho. This is maybe like 1:30 in the morning.
I mean, you can
Kevin
just read
says,
the time on there.
I'm trying to find it. I was just going to go off the dome.
worries.
Here we go. Okay, got it right here. 1:22 a.m. Are you still with Mike? We bounced. I'm headed home. Is he headed to my house? I think so. Yes. He took off with other Kevin, and I think he has a mac and cheese melt for you. And then Kevin goes, oh, great. And gives me his address to Discord to other Kevin so that hopefully Mike can get to Kevin's house. And that's how my night ended. There might have been a Pop-Tart also.
I appreciate Kevin looking out for me, because the last time I came down, as Kevin will tell in the story, I got lost and left at Oracle Park the AT&T
I
baseball.
that's
I don't understand how this keeps happening.
that's not. Well, hold on.
It is good that he did look out for me there.
The story is like he's totally lying. Last time he purposely left very dramatically and was like, I got it. I'm gonna go figure out my way home. Right after or right before, like another group was going.
I got it. It's no big deal.
Put in the wrong address.
We were at a diner. All of us were jamming. Then the group left, and it was me, Nick, and a bunch of comedians I'd never met. All of a sudden, I got flustered because I was stony baloney, and I said, "I got this," and I walked out the place, and I got lost.
Okay,
it's
he
fine.
walked out the place 1 minute after everyone else's Ubers had left. Mike decided to leave 1 minute after Kevin and the rest of the people that were going to the house that Mike was staying at left.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll tell you this though, Mike should say that SnowBikeMike travels light. Greg Miller that's an understatement.
Sure,
Mike packs for a day trip with a fanny pack. I don't even think he had a toothbrush. It was like his house was on fire and he just ran out with whatever he had and no cell phone charger, no nothing. He rolls up. I walk up at 3:50 in the afternoon on a Saturday to the Geary Theater in downtown San Francisco. And I just see SnowBikeMike. And his first words to me are, "Oh, thank God I saw you because my phone's dead." And I'm like, "Did you not bring a charge? Did you not charge the phone on the 3-hour drive down here?" And Mike's like, don't. These are needless details. You don't need to worry about these things.
At this point, how many In-N-Out cheeseburgers had you consumed, Mike?
In-N-Out cheeseburger count was 3. If we count the night before, which will also be part of the story, I'm at 5. So right now I'm at 5 within a matter of 12 hours.
Thank you.
At this point.
Wow. Perfect.
If we add on the time driving back home, I'd be at 7 in less than 36 hours. I ate a lot.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I have noticed this seems to be a thing about Mike, though, of just going places and getting lost. Because I've had this seafood box forever. And he was like, "Okay, after I go to Muir Woods, I'll hit you up and I'll come by and get it." I was like, "All right."
No.
And then he hit me up hours later. Like this, I said that before he even came here. Then he hits me up. He's like, "I actually got lost leaving Muir Woods. I'm at a place called Stinson Beach. There was a great cafe there called Parkside." I said, "Go there." But I was like, "Okay, well, just let me know." And then hours and hours and hours and hours and hours go by. And finally he's like, "Hey, can I come by and get that box?" I'm like, "Yeah, where are you?" And he's like, "I am outside your house."
Yep.
And I've been very clear of like, give me a heads up, the baby, the naps and all this. Let me know when you're coming by so I can be ready. He's like, "I am outside of your house right now." I was like, "Okay."
It's the whole thing, Greg. I was out on the beach. There's no cell service. I was just embracing the wake, getting lost in the curl.
Sure.
And I you don't have time to text out there. There's no time to text. Also, maybe I didn't have a cell phone at that time.
Yeah, the thing I learned about Mike is to not worry because he'll find his way to wherever he's going.
No.
Mike, you don't know if there was cell service or not because you didn't have your phone.
Mike is kind of like just one of those beautiful characters in a movie where people just sort of help him along no matter what happens. Like you don't have to. He's like Pee-wee's like Big Adventure. You know what I mean? Like something happens and he just turns around and like Large Marge just picks him up. He's like, "Oh, I guess that's fine." Gets in the car.
You know what? He's very much Nick. Like what's that movie where Paul Rudd is the brother, the carefree
Our idiot brother.
Yeah.
Idiot, yeah. Yeah,
I'm sorry the movie's called that, Mike.
That sounded neat when it came out of my mouth, but I was like, that one's on Andy.
Just like carefree, Mike just goes where the wind takes him, and like, would I have loved to have gone to the melt with you after the bar? Yeah, I would have loved to. But suddenly I'm like, where's Mike? Where's Kevin? Where's the spaceman? Where did they go? And like, I don't know. I think he went to go eat somewhere. Like, God damn it. Okay, well he's just gone somewhere.
Mike is he's just on side quest.
Yeah. That was the moment that Tim caught me. Greg, when you're about to leave, right? Somebody will keep an eye on you. And Tim was like, "Hey,
are we leaving the bar? Are we leaving Achievement Hunter Lab? Where are we at right now?"
We're at the bar now. So if we're going backwards, just Nick wanted to do it, right? We're at the bar now.
Let's start at the beginning. We can start at the beginning.
Let's
start
at the
beginning.
beginning.
Confuse the audio listeners.
Okay, audio listeners, let me rewind really quick. Imagine it's Friday the week beforehand, like today. We'll just make up today's Friday. Tim hyped us all up. Achievement Hunter Live next week. Can't wait to have you all there. I thought, you know what? I'm coming. It's going to be a great time. Mm-hmm. And as Andy knows, as the days got closer and, time started to tick by, I was like,
tried to bail.
Maybe I don't want to go.
There started being a lot of questions being asked. Like, in order to, like, maybe there will be an answer that I get that prevents me from going, right? Sure. And then in the Discord, there just suddenly pops up a message at around 8:38, and this is after like a lot of questions of like, well, what's the vax status and blah 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 and this and that. And on March 31st, 2022, and that is Thursday night. Thursday night around 11 something p.m. A message pops up in the Discord. Mike is gonna stay home. And I said, God damn it. And he replies with, ha ha ha. And that's it. And so it's like, I guess he's not coming. I think he made up his mind and Mike decided to not come.
He tried so desperate. I was in the Discord with him the night prior on purpose, hanging out with him, making sure he was going to come. Yeah. And he tried so hard to get out of this. And I get it, Mike. It's a 3-hour drive, but this is how it went. I was like, Mike, are you excited about tomorrow? I'm so excited, man. I'm super great. I'm 100% going to be there probably. I'm like, what was that? I was like, what was that last part? He goes, I'm going to go for sure. Not maybe. I don't know. And
there were a lot of questions, Nick, asked multiple times of, now, Andy, you're excited about seeing these guys? You like these guys? It was like, I think he was wanting for me for one of these times to be like, not really. For him to be like, all right, well, then I'm out.
Yeah. So Thursday, I've made the decision in my head. I'm not going to go.
Hold on, real quick, Mike. Meanwhile, while all of this is going on, I'm just trying my desperate best to get this all together, to make sure that all of our team is happy. Anyone that wants to be part of this is part of this. Anyone that doesn't need to be. Anybody that can't, won't be. It's fine, whatever. Dealing with Achievement Hunter, trying to collab, trying to figure out how do we put on the best show possible while it being very much their show. I don't want to take over, even though you guys know me. I want to be like, this is what we're gonna do. And I'm like, no. I gotta reel it in just a little bit, but I got our guys. I know Mike wants to be a part of this. I know Mike wants to be on stage. I know he wants to be fucking loud and out there and hype and all that stuff. So I hit up Mike weeks ago. I'm like, yo, you want to be a part of this? He's like, I would want nothing more, Tim, than to be a part of this. I'm like, hell yeah, let's fucking go. I'm going to make sure that happens. And then it wasn't until a day before you're supposed to come down, you hit me up. You're like, hey man, so what's the vax status necessary for this? I'm like, you need to be either vaxxed or have a day of test, but like
you need to be boosted. Right? You need to be boosted.
And then you're like, I'm vaxxed. I'm not boosted. I'm like, okay. We're gonna have to figure this out, but like we will figure it out. You get boosted in that time, and I'm like, my man, let's go, cool. And you go.
I mean, that's real quick. That's not how it works. Like,
you have to get
boosted 10 days prior.
Hold on, let him finish.
Yeah. So the thing was, you just had to be vaxxed to get into the being on stage thing or have the post thing. You didn't need the booster for that part of it. But Mike gets boosted anyways for this instead of just doing the test and just getting the negative and being fine with that.
Mike. Can I tell you that we had me and Mike, and I think Kevin was in there too, had a whole back and forth about this on Thursday. We're like post stream after my stream, Mike's talking about coming through on Saturday, and he's like, yeah, man, like I think I had to have the vax to go, and I think they're checking for boosters for people that are attending, and I can also get the test. And Mike's like, I think I'm gonna get boosted, and the whole time I'm like, Mike, don't get boosted. Like, if you get the booster right now or tomorrow, you'll probably feel sick on Saturday. And Mike asked me like 5 more times. He's like, I don't know, man. I might get boosted. Like, maybe I should get boosted. I'm like, Mike, if you get boosted tomorrow, you're not gonna go. Like, you're not gonna make it. And then I think it was either next year or Saturday where like I hear back from Mike and he's like, yeah, I've been boosted.
So I'm talking to Mike and I'm like, how you feeling? You excited for tomorrow? Like, whatever. And he goes, just got my shot. And I'm like, what the fuck? You just got your shot. Like, you realize that's going to fuck you up. He's like, Tim, I'm feeling great, dog. Are you kidding me? Like, I don't know what everyone's talking about. It's totally okay. Everything's going to be good. I'm going to see you tomorrow. Tonight, I'm going to Kevin's house. It's going to be good. And I'm sitting here like, well, Mike told me he's going to be at Kevin's house. Why would I not believe him? You know, I know he lies to Andy. I know he lies to Nick. He wouldn't lie to me.
Not gonna lie to you.
He wouldn't do that to me.
Never, not to Tim.
Well, then guess what happens? He lied to me, everybody. The next morning, I'm like, where's Mike? Where's Mike? And I get a text from Mike. Hey, man, I'm driving down, not feeling too good. The booster fucked me up. And I'm like, Mike, first off, if you don't want to come, if you're not feeling good, you don't need to do this. You're like, no, man, I'm going to be there. I hope that I'm there on time. And I'm like, it's in God's hands now. I don't know. So continue, Mike.
Yeah, so that's how it went. I tried to find every excuse not to go. So I got vaxxed. I got boosted on Thursday, took a test on Friday morning. I had everything set and good. I was cleared to go by Friday night. I was supposed to see Kevin that night, But Greg, you know me, I was like, you know what? Maybe I don't want to go. So I took Sad Boy Sean down to Carson City, the opposite direction of where I was supposed to go. Bunch of in and out at 11 o'clock at night. I told him, I don't think I'm going to go anymore. He goes, well, maybe you should tell me so I can watch your dogs tonight. I was like, I'll let you know. So I went home. I slept.
Mike, you gotta not do that. It's super rude to leave people hanging like that, including me, Mike.
Woke up at 8:30 a.m. and I said, you know what? I'm feeling good. I got a text message that said, get up, Mike. Let's go be great today. And so I woke up and I texted Kevin at exactly 10 a.m. and I said, I'm on my way. And he said, bullshit. And I said, I'll be there. And that's when I just drove straight down and I arrived at 2 o'clock. And now, really quick to fill into the story, forgot my phone charger. I arrived in San Francisco on time. It's 2 p.m. That gives me 1 hour at Kevin's to shower, eat something, and then drive right over to rehearsals at 4 o'clock, right? I'm looking good. I get to the local gas station. Now, I'm 2 blocks away from Kevin's. I should have gone to Kevin's first because I had to pee really bad. But no, I decided not to do that. I pull into the gas station. I get 3 Frappuccinos, 3 waters. I asked the kid for a phone charger. He clearly hands me the wrong one, so I never charged my phone the whole weekend. But I'm doing the dance.
Wait, he clearly hands. You still take it? You still buy it?
No.
Well, I didn't know it was a lightning charger compared to the old iPhone chargers. They got to pick one or the other.
They did. It was the lightning.
They gotta figure it out, Mike.
That's
Mike,
an iPhone thing. That's an Apple problem.
They gotta
Wait,
figure it out.
Hold on.
iPhone doesn't use lightning cables?
The old ones.
They gave you one of the fucking fat ass white.
Yeah, he gave me one of the old ones, and he doesn't give you the base
No,
either.
he had I'm pretty
cord.
sure he had a micro USB cable.
Well, I plugged the thing in there and it didn't do anything. So now I'm at the bathroom and I'm dying. I gotta pee so bad. I'm doing the dance, and there's somebody in the left restroom, nobody in the right. I asked, "Hey, dude, can you unlock the right?" He goes, "Oh no, I can't do that." And I was like, "Oh my god!" And so I'm doing the dance, and all I thought in my mind is, I'm gonna pee in this bag, or I have to go outside and pee on the wall because I'm about to break down. And the kid sees me. The kid sees me doing the dance. And he's like, "Hey, bro, like, is somebody in there?" I'm like, "No, somebody's in here. Nobody's in there. Open the door." And he's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." So I give the kid the credit because he was very nice to me, even though he sold me the wrong charger. Gets me into the bathroom. Then I get to Kevin's house, and I'm like, "Great job, Mike. You're here. You're ready." I grab all my stuff and I start walking over to Kevin's. What happens? The paper bag explodes. All of my Frappuccinos are on the ground. They break, right?
They're in glass bottles too, right?
Exactly. Kevin's neighbor comes out. "Hey, bro, what was that?" And I clearly have my hands full to the brim. I was like, "One of my Frappuccinos broke. I'm coming back to clean it." He goes, "Well, I got a broom and dustpan. I'll help you." And I was like, "Well, that's very neighborly. That's cool." So I drop all my stuff off. We become homies. We're dapping up. We're telling stories about gambling in Reno. It was a great time. Very cool
You're like, "Hey,
guy.
you ever help this guy with dirt? Like, what's going on?"
I did say that. I said, "I'm here to stay at Kevin's. You probably seen him moving a lot of dirt." He goes, "Oh yeah, Kevin's a good guy. I like Kevin." And so we were moving glass together. Then I get into Kevin's house, and now the time has dwindled to, I have 30 minutes to shower, change, and go. And of course, me, as many of you know, I like to be comfortable. And so for rehearsal time, if we show up at 7 and the show doesn't start till 8, I'm going to wear t-shirt and shorts, and I'm going to be comfortable during rehearsals. Well, now I'm texting Nick, I'm texting Tim, I'm texting everybody, "Are you driving?" Because I was going to bring a backpack, put it in their car because I didn't know the situation, right? Everybody, "No, I'm on a bus." "Oh, I'm taking
Why would you
an
bring
Uber."
the backpack in and put it backstage?
I've never been backstage, Greg. It's my first time. I don't know anything. The last time I went backstage, Smash Mouth kicked me out of the green room, if you remember, Greg Miller. Kind of funny prom. Okay, I tried to put my stuff there. Smash Mouth said, "Get out."
Fair enough. Yeah.
Okay, you got me. Hey, got me dead to rights on that one. I understand. That would be enough. Yeah.
So I didn't know what was going to happen. So I asked all these jabronis. They said, "We're not driving." So now it changed up my whole plan, Greg, of here's multiple outfits ready to go. Now I have to wear show attire at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I wasn't happy. And you ever leave the shower, Greg, on a warm day, but you're still like wet and like sweating now, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So now I'm in the Uber with this one guy, very nice guy. He's been up to Tahoe. We were catching up about it. And I'm like, "Can I roll down this window?" I got my head out the window like a dog.
So my next question is, so like, why you went to Kevin's house, but Kevin wasn't there to go to this thing?
Kevin texted me, "You want to eat?" I responded, "I always want to eat." But then I never heard from him again. And so I was like, "Oh man, that's weird." I thought for sure Kevin would come downstairs.
I was initiating, "Let's get food." That's what that is.
Yeah,
do you want to eat means let's get food.
That sounds pretty obvious. Yeah.
But I wrote back, "I always want to eat."
And I was like, "Great, he's gonna come by to eat." And then I get no response. Eventually, at 4 o'clock, I hit him up. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And he's like, what did I do? What?
I said, I'm at rehearsals. I thought I left the door open. But I didn't. I did. So now I arrive at rehearsals, and then I'll let other people take over from here.
Kevin, he tells me, by the way.
Up to the point.
Kevin, he tells me, by the way, he goes, man, Kevin, man, I feel bad. I left without Kevin, you know, and he got really mad at me because I left without him, you know.
Mike was super rude. I'm mad at him.
And I let him know that, like, oh, we had a great time. We had a great time eating at this restaurant and getting drunk.
It was a fantastic time.
I gotta say, when I passed the baton to Mike, I didn't expect any of that. I thought he was going to start at rehearsals. I did not expect we were about to go through all of that. So much of that is story I didn't even know. Yeah. Bless, I want to pass it to you. What was your story going into this?
When did you stand up Kevin on this trip?
I didn't stand up Kevin. Actually, me and Kevin had a great time. But I guess
real quick, Blessing.
What up?
You know where else you can have a great time? Patreon.com/KindaFunny, where you can write in and be part of the show. You can get the show ad free. You can get the exclusive post show we do. But for right now, all that matters is you could go there to get it ad free. You're not there. So guess what, Jack? Here's a word from our sponsors. You got back-to-back meetings, errands to run, and chores to take care of. What's the secret to clearing your to-do list? A little help from DoorDash. You can get dinner, household essentials, and everything on your grocery list delivered. I'm going to pause the ad and tell you, ladies and gentlemen, how do I know so much about DoorDash? I used it this morning. I woke up, I had to get the house ready, I had this guy coming to work on the garage, I had the nanny coming over, we had no clean bottles, I cleaned the bottles and everything, and I was like, I'm hungry and I need coffee and I don't have time to make either. I DoorDashed Jen and I some breakfast today and it was great. When I was sick last week, I DoorDashed Gatorade because I wasn't about to go out. DoorDash is great. Back to what they wrote. Ordering is easy and your items will be left safely outside your door when you choose contactless delivery drop-off. For a limited time, our listeners can get 25% off and zero delivery fees on their first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter the code KindaFunny. That's 25% off up to a $10 value and zero delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter the code KindaFunny. Don't forget, that's code KindaFunny for 25% off your first order with DoorDash, subject to change, terms apply. For most of us, learning a second language in high school or college wasn't exactly a high point in our academic careers. I took 3 years of French and guess what? It didn't stick. Now, thanks to Babbel, the language learning app that's sold more than 10 million subscriptions, there's an addictively easy and fun way to learn a new language. Whether you'll be traveling abroad, connecting in a deeper way with family, or just have some free time, Babbel teaches you bite-sized language lessons that you'll actually want to use in the real world. Je parle un peu français, and I was talking to Jen's mom here and there about little things. Mon chapeau, you know what it's about. Other language learning apps use AI for their lesson plans, but Babbel lessons were created by over 100 language experts. With Babbel, you can choose from 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, Italian, and German. Plus, Babbel's speech recognition technology helps you improve your pronunciation and accent. I could use that for English. Start your new language learning journey today with Babbel. Right now, you can save up to 60% off your subscription when you go to babbel.com/kindafunny. That's babbel.com/kindafunny for up to 60% off your subscription. Babbel, language for life. No one likes waiting on a paycheck, especially when you've got bills due. Good thing there's Chime. Now you can get your paycheck up to 2 days early with direct deposit. That's up to 2 more days to save, pay bills, and generally just feel good about your money situation. But Chime is more than just getting paid early. It's also an award-winning mobile app, checking account, debit card, and optional savings account. So what are you waiting for? Hopefully not your paycheck. Get started with Chime today. Applying for a free account takes less than 2 minutes. Get started at chime.com/kfgames. That's chime.com/kfgames. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank and Stride Bank NA, members FDIC. Early access to direct deposit funds depend on the payer. Blessing, back to you.
I actually don't have a wild lead up that day of. My lead up is honestly me being hungover because the night before I had hung out with a lot of Achievement Hunter folks, with Tim and Alfredo and all of them. And so it started off with me getting dinner with Kai, one of the folks from Achievement Hunter, because like we had been internet homies, right? Like we both have that shared. Oh yeah, we're like newish on our teams. Of course, she's way more new at Achievement Hunter than I am at KF. But coming in, we're like, we've collaborated on a lot of stuff before, so we're like, oh yeah, let's link up, let's hang out. From there, she's like, yo, let's hang out let's hang out with some Achievement Hunter folks because I heard they're going to this tiki bar. And I was like, oh, cool. And then at the same time, I get a text from Tim of him being like, yo, me and Alfredo are headed to a tiki bar. And I was like, oh shit, all right, it looks like everybody's gonna be at this tiki bar. I head to the tiki bar.
Did you go to?
It's Zombie something.
Zombie Village. It's We've been there before, Greg, before it was called Zombie Village. Remember, the quickest way I can say this is Layer Media Party is always at Bourbon and Branch. Remember we went to that other place down the block?
Yeah,
it's the other place down the block.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so like it was pretty chill. Like we got there and this was the moment where I realized that I'd only known like half of Achievement Hunter, right? Like I know Alfredo obviously, but like I've known of Gavin, I've known of Jack, I've known of like folks here and there, but like there were new folks that I've not watched Achievement Hunter in years. There were new folks that had arrived that I had not met before. And so that was pretty cool, like meeting Joe, meeting other folks at Achievement Hunter. But like honestly, a lot of the fun that night came from ordering a lot of drinks and being very drunk by the time I got to the tiki bar, because like before I even got to the tiki bar, I had ordered I think like 10 ounces of sake, thinking that I was gonna split it with Kai, and Kai's like, no, I'm not drinking tonight. And I was like, oh shit, all right, I guess I'm gonna drink this sake. And so then we get to the tiki bar and I look at the drinks menu and I order this drink called the Painkiller, which is supposed to be like pineapple, vodka, a bunch of other stuff in there. And I was like, this sounds fantastic. I order it. They hand me this drink that looked way different than what I thought it was going to be.
Let me stop you right here, Bless.
Go for it.
This is when I walk up to Bless at the bar. They're handing him this drink. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to order a drink. What am I going to get? And I start looking around, looking at the menu. I'm like, they don't have anything that's just like a normal drink. It's all tiki stuff. So I'm like, okay. In my mind thinking, what's the least sweet random bullshit I can get? Like, I'm just trying to get something that's just like generic, normal alcohol and a like soda water type drink, right?
Yeah,
sure.
Looking at the options. I look over at Bless. I'm like, what are you drinking? And he's like, oh, it's a painkiller. And I was like, what's a painkiller? And he goes, I don't know, but it has a popsicle in it. And he pulls a popsicle out of his alcoholic drink, a full ass popsicle. And
So you ordered a
like,
painkiller.
cool. I am not getting that. No.
Turns out what they gave me was not a painkiller. I was very surprised when they handed me my drink and it had a popsicle in it. I was like, oh, that's different.
That
But then
sounds delightful. I love that.
I thought it was like the drink itself was fine. I can't remember what was in it, but it was a drink. The popsicle itself was disgusting. It did not taste like a popsicle the way I imagined it. It tasted just like frosting, and I do not like frosting. And so I started eating the popsicle, and I was like, no, I'm not doing this, and I put it away. But yeah, I drank through the drink, and then like toward the end of it, me and the dude I was hanging out with, I can't remember his name. He was like one of the camera people for Achievement Hunter. I was hanging out with him, kicking it with him, and he's drinking his drink. And then like we're talking about, I think it was Tim that did come through and ask like what we got and all that stuff. And like after that conversation, the bartender, it's a different bartender though who gave me my drinks. She came through and she was like, hey, just so you know, that drink isn't the painkiller. And me and the dude I'm talking to, we look at each other and we're like, oh, did we swap drinks on accident? Like, did he give us the wrong drinks? And we're like, oh yeah. So I ended up getting my painkiller. And that's kind of where the night ends for me. Is like me finally getting the painkiller and then remembering not much after that. I drank the painkiller and just hung out for the rest of the night.
Apparently you had the Cocoa Pandan. That's what you had.
Oh,
The Cocoa
Kevin, I'm
Pandan.
sending it to you right now. If you
Can
want
you
to
read
throw the
what's in it?
Instagram of it. The Instagram will be put up there.
Does it say anywhere what's in it?
No.
Death, apparently. because Blessing showed up the next day and was like, I was like, how you feeling, man? He goes, I'm a little hungover. And I was like, cool. Because we're probably not going to drink. I was like, don't worry about it, man. We're probably not going to drink tonight. Mind you, I had a show the night before out in Oakland. It went great, but it was a long night. And I assume that I just missed the text, Andy, for the Tiki Bar. I don't know if you got your text. I must have missed mine for.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm wondering if it was a service issue like Mike was having.
Must have been. Yeah, they must have sold Tim the wrong charger because I didn't get the Tiki Bar invite to hang out. With all but that's cool because I had a show the night prior and I came in. I was like tired. I'm like I'm tired. I had a bunch of shows last week. We crushed last week. Great work, everyone. And I'm like, I'm looking forward to just coming in, saying hello, getting some good energy from the Achievement Hunter people, and then probably going home, right? Blessing comes, we get run through the show, and I'm paying attention to the run of show. And Jack's like, okay, this is happening. He's like, Nick, you're on this game with about Piccadilly Square, and I was like, okay, cool. I look over at Mike. Mike laughs at me. Yeah, Pico Park. Mike laughs at me because he goes, you have no idea what that is, do you? I was like, I don't fucking have any idea. I'm starting to get scared now, Greg. Then he goes, you got to do improv. We got you doing improv. And I was like, holy shit, I got to work tonight. Like this, I thought I was just going to go up, scream a little bit, play a game, but like, see you guys later.
Yeah,
and
Greg's not there. You got to work.
Shock Blessing's arm and then leave. So I had to work. So I'm thinking, okay, well, here's what we're not going to do, right? I'm just going to pay attention. And then, of course, I'm going to pull Tim aside and be like, listen, I know what you're thinking, Tim. I know you're thinking I didn't pay attention, but I did pay attention. I was paying attention. I don't understand what's going on. Tim laughs and goes, I knew this was going to happen, of course. I understand what's going on. I'm going to pull everyone aside with the kind of funny guys and let you know what you're doing. Blessing from
blessing us.
Yeah, so to chime in here, right? Because I think this is part of my story as well. The night before, while I was hanging out with Kyle, Alfredo, all of them, the question kept coming up of, oh, so like, what's kind of funny segment going to be, or what's kind of funny going to do? And I was explaining to them that like, hey, yeah, I've gotten like messages from Tim in weeks past, and like Tim seems like he has an idea, but I don't know how solidified that idea is, because it started off as, oh, we're just gonna do our Sifu race on stage, and that turned into, oh, actually, we're gonna do a one level of Sifu, right? We're just gonna do that on stage, have one person play it, and I think we're gonna shock them while they play it.
Yeah.
That then turned into, I think that then turned into the Super Mario 64 thing of like, oh yeah, no, it's gonna be Super Mario 64. We're gonna race to the through the end of Bowser's Castle, the first Bowser's Castle level. And at that point, I was like, we have no idea what we're doing. I'm just gonna go with the flow. Like, I'm just gonna hang out, have a good time. When I get to the rehearsal, because I get there like, I think like 10 minutes late, because again, like, I am very hungover on Saturday by the time it comes to Achievement Hunter. I
You
get
were
there
45 minutes late.
Yeah.
I thought was it not 4:30? I was told 4:30.
No.
Yeah, it was 4
No.
o'clock. You rolled in. You text me at 4, or you text the group at 4:30. Said I'm almost there. I'll be there by 4:40, and you were there by 4:40, just in time, I think, to miss the entire runner show.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure you
Okay.
might,
That's
but-
when we said break, and that was when it was over.
Yeah, I was
Blessing,
very
pretty cool.
surprised by
Here, let's go.
how fast that went. Because yeah, I got there at 4:30. Because I think I
This
swear to
runner
God,
show seems to have gone delightfully fast.
I swear to God, it's on our calendar for 4:30 if we check there right now. But like, I get there at 4:40.
No, definitely not.
Is it not? Oh shit, that's my bad.
Definitely not. No, no.
I was definitely like, okay, 4:30 is the time. I get there 4:40, walk on stage, because that's where they're doing. They run a show, and then Nick leans over to me and he's like, "Hey, just so you know, you're in everything." And I was like, "Oh shit."
I was like, Blessing, I'm taking copious notes. You're in everything, but just so you're okay, you and me should go talk to Tim and see if you know what's going on.
Such
Because
a
I know
fuck,
what's going
Nick.
on,
You're
but I want
such
to
a
make sure
fuck.
that you know what's going on. Blessing's like, yeah, it's a great idea. Meanwhile, I'm fucking terrified. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. There's no run of show posted anywhere because Jack had just finished it, of course, in typical us fashion. Like, everything's kind of mile a minute. They had tech problems. They had to move a couple stuff around, live production, whatnot. I'm like, Jack. And he goes, don't worry, Nick. I'm going to post the run of show on the door. Now, Jack, great guy. Posts to run a show. Greg, the font is like 1. It's a 1 font. And then he goes, and then he like as things were going all night, someone was going around and crossing it off, and that confused me more because I was like, yeah, that should be like, this is the next thing up. Then I was
Massive
like, wait, what was the
panicking.
name of the game that I was supposed to do? Was it Piccadilly Party?
Oh.
I can't remember. So
Echo Park.
I'm like, we get to the run of show.
But
and I
Mike put
kinda
his hand up.
understand-
Mike had his hand up. What do you
Sorry.
got?
Oh,
what's up?
well, no, I'm going to call out Nick. So just keep going. I'm going to call.
Oh, no,
I
no,
have
okay.
to do it, Nick.
No,
I have
preemptive
to- I
call
have
out. You love to
call
see
out
it.
Nick
Call it out.
here in a minute.
Talk shit.
Well,
It's okay.
Okay, so here we are, Greg, standing on this beautiful stage. We're soaking it in. Run of show's going on. I look at Nick and I say, Nick, take a photo of me.
Yeah.
Pull
take a
out
photo
this
of me.
nice,
Take the picture.
disposable camera. I say, you only get one. Nick Scarpino, being Nick, takes one. He goes, I don't like that one. Let me kick on the flash. I said, all right, fine. He takes another one. Next thing I know, Greg Miller, Nick is gone. I turn around, Nick is gone from the photo. I find him 5 minutes later in the back, just taking photos of random jabronis.
Okay.
And I go, what the fuck, Nick? That's my special camera, bro.
At no point,
I think
Andy,
he wanted me to take photos of random jabronis.
I swear to
It's a
God.
disposable camera.
I swear to God. At no point did Mike refer to this 1990s Kodak disposable camera that I imagine he got from his one and only trip to fucking New York or whatever, right? As his special camera. I thought he was like, Nick, I had a fun idea. I brought a disposable camera for you to go around and take pictures all night. And I was like, oh, that sounds great. I'm taking pictures of Michael. I'm taking pictures of Trevor.
So hold on, just to pause the story, Mike. Your
Mind you,
special
there's no
camera,
flash on this thing, so it's dark as shit. None of these pictures are coming out anyway.
the special camera. Is it one you've kept with you for like years, or what's
Yeah,
the
I
deal
mean,
with it?
for about a year and a half, I've been taking one photo at a
All
time,
right,
a different
that's not
place
that
I
special.
go. Nick Scarpino taking
not that
pictures of
special.
feet and shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's not that special.
That'll do
The
it.
film's gonna
That'll do it.
expire. At that rate.
So That was a mistake on my part, which I already apologized to you before, Mike. There's no reason to bring that up because obviously that was a misunderstanding. Mind you, all the pictures that we did take for some ungodly reason, whoever took them on their phone made us all look old as shit.
Dude, it was the lighting. It was the lighting of Satan. I don't know what the fuck that was. Who has that picture? I'm sorry, guys. If anyone has it, we're exposing all of us right now.
Mike takes a picture.
Who has
I didn't take the photo.
Somebody took a picture.
No, Wes. Wes took the photo.
And then Wes sends it to us, and Mike put it through the Slack. And then we all looked at the
Mike
picture.
Slacks are general Slacks. So every single person here at KindaFunny saw a picture come up. We all looked at it and we're like, this is the worst picture of any of us that has ever existed. Terrible. He takes it down, and I forget what he said.
We didn't like the photo.
Sunday, April 2nd, 5:15 p.m. We didn't like the photo. And I did not see the photo. I just saw this Slack maybe an hour later in between doing whatever I was doing with Benjamin. I was like, what the? And like, because there's a photo above it. And I'm like, the photo above it's from the day before of a parking lot. Like, they can't be the photo he's talking about.
It was ridiculous. We're utterly ridiculous.
It was a really bad photo. Yeah.
It looked like we're all 100 years old because of the lighting.
So let's get to the fun part, Nick.
Hold on. Real quick. Yeah. I want to backstep just a little bit. Like, Achievement Hunter hits me up a while back, I mean, legitimately 3 years ago, to do this show, right? We had ideas. Those ideas didn't make sense anymore. They hit me up again a couple months ago. Let's talk about this. Then, in normal production fashion of how all of us are doing a million things day to day, people having babies left and right. It's a whole fucking thing, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I get hit up like, hey, this is happening. What ideas do you have? Do you want to go on stage? Do you want a kind of funny bit? I'm like, of course we do. What are the what do we have to work with? What resources do we have? Like, what are our limitations? Whatever. And they're like, anything you want to do, we can do it. And I was like, you know what? We did this Sifu race and it was awesome. If we just, instead of doing the whole game, if it was all of us doing a 4-way race in Sifu on the first level, that would be engaging content. The audience would be into it.
Great idea.
We'd be good at it. Nick, Mike, and Alfredo were going to be shoutcasting it. It was going to be a blast. And then, literally, within 24 hours of the event, they hit me up and they're like, hey, so who's going to, we don't have Sifu on Switch. Can you make sure that we get it? And I'm like, oh, Sifu's not on Switch. And they're like, oh, okay. So we can't do multiple feeds. We can only do one feed. And I'm like, shit. Okay. That's good to know. Look, we can adapt. We'll just do the one feed. It's fine.
I'm adapting.
Totally fine. But Sifu's not on Switch. And they're like, we're only doing Switch games for the event to keep it easy. And I'm like, okay. Well, we don't have a bit then. So we're going to have to figure this out. So I'm frantically calling Blessing and Andy, trying to figure out, like, what do we do? How do we play this? And I knew no matter what, we were going to be fine. And we ended up coming up with a bit where the idea was we were going to play Mario 64. We were going to play the first Bowser level. And I wanted to make that as fun as possible for us and the audience. So I was like, for our bit, I'm going to hold half the controller. Bless is going to hold the other half of the controller. On top of that, one of us is blindfolded and one of us is going to have a shocker on our arm that is going to shock our muscles to fuck up what we're doing. All right. And Nick, Andy, and Alfredo were going to kind of like fuck with us as we do it. So that was the bit we were planning to do. Did we rehearse that? No. Did we ever even kind of actually try to do it? No. So I just want to let everyone know. The kind of funny way. So I'm trying my best. And me being the more like planner of the group, I'm like, I understand what's going on. I'm just trying my best. I don't want to over inundate people with information they don't need to know. So I'm only going to tell people what they need. We do the run a show with Jack and it was a disaster. I'm like, we're all fucked. I don't know what the hell's going on. It's fine. So literally I have to take our group and I'm like, guys, we got this. Don't worry. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what you're responsible for. Here's what you're responsible for. And what was fun about that is Achievement Hunter assigned us to a bunch of things. And I'm like, nah, I'm going to reassign people because you assigned the wrong people to each of these things. And that's not their fault. Like, they don't know us that well. But I was like, I'm not going to do the improv. It needs to be Andy and Nick. And like, okay, cool. We're going to put Bless on werewolves because he's the king of deception. Like, we're going to do all this like different type of stuff. Exactly. King of Halloween. Of course. So we got to get this show down. And that's kind of where we landed to where we're at timeline wise. Who wants to take it from here?
So after that, I will say, Nick, that we, after rehearsals, we're all kind of feeling a bit apprehensive about our roles, right? And we figure, hey, Greg, what better way to kind of take some of the edge off? Let's go to a bar. Let's go to a restaurant. Let's get some food in our bellies. I'm hungry. I haven't really eaten all day.
They had now to Achievement Hunter's credit, they had ordered food for everyone. They had like these these like little prepackaged things going on. But the one thing that in the back of my mind was I was like, well, I don't see a Fountain Diet Coke here, so we got to go someplace
or Fountain Crab.
Wait, real quick. When did the White Claws come into play?
We're gonna get there.
Much later.
Yeah, we're gonna get there.
That is Kevin. That is hours away.
Hours from where we are.
Now, mind you, I just want to throw this out there. I was talking to, I forget her name. Tim, who was the other? Not Clarissa. Nicole. Thank you. Very cool. The other person helping to plan the event from the RT side, and she was like, "Hey, we've got alcohol here," and I said, and I distinctly said this. I said, you know what? I had a show last night, and I'll be honest with you, like I normally now, as a general rule, I just don't drink before I go on stage because I lose focus, and I just think it's kind of unprofessional. She goes, "That's really cool. That's smart of you." I was like, "I know, you hire KindaFunny to do a job, and you're gonna get, the A#1 service." And I'm like, "We should go. How much time do we have, Jack?" And Jack's like, "Well, it was like 5:00." He goes, "Can you guys just be back by 7?" I'm like, 2 hours is plenty of time to walk right around the corner to what I was hoping this time was Bartlett Hall, not Jasper's Corner. I was like, please, God.
This is a big callback to another episode.
Do not let the restaurant that I pick right now be Jasper's Corner, because I will never hear the end of it from
Greg. Do you know this story?
No, Greg wasn't on that story.
Greg, they were taking out Bruce Green. Bruce Green was here for GDC. They said, what? Let's treat Bruce Green to an incredible lunch. And Nick thinks that he is reserving seats at Bartlett Hall.
Yeah.
And which is the same place that we did our KindaFunny holiday party last year.
Pretzel Knots, good IPAs, good cocktails.
So that's a place that Nick thinks that he's getting. And they end up going to a different place that is not Bartlett Hall called Jasper's Corner, which apparently is like the no-branded Applebee's that nobody was sitting in. They take Bruce Green to an incredible lunch, and here we are. They walk in, there's nobody sitting there, so there was no need to reserve seats. Everybody there working there is judging them for like, why did you all reserve a table here? This is like, so anyway, that's the story of like, Nick, you better have the right spot that we're going to right now.
I've never been more embarrassed in my life than when I walked in and Bruce Green had arrived before. I was like, please God, don't let him be here before me. And he's the only person in this place. And he goes, good thing you made a reservation. Anyway, we turn the corner. I was like, Tim, we got to go to the place we had our Christmas party. And Tim goes, actually, I think that's right around the corner. And I'm like, fuck, if he's screwing with me, I'll never live this down. But of course, Tim is a good person and it would not do that. I would have, but Tim did not.
Sure.
You're on the corner, Bartlett Hall's there. I'm like, fantastic. These guys got pretzels. You dip the pretzels and like all that stuff. We're going to have a good time. Still thinking to myself, not drinking tonight, right? We're just going to get through this. We're going to go home early. We're going to take a little nap, have a nice little Sunday. And then we sit down. And the guy goes around the table, is like, scan the QR code, whatever you want, right? So we're not really ordering. I don't hear what everyone else is ordering. I put in a Diet Coke. We put in some appetizers. And as I'm about to hit send, I turn to my left, and who do I see? One, Blessing Adeoye Jr., right?
Yeah.
And I go, Blessing, I'm like, are you drinking? Did you get something to drink? And Blessing, without missing a beat, mind you, had just finished telling me how hungover he was. He goes, "Oh, fuck yeah, I'm drinking. I'm having a painkiller right now." And I'm like, "Oh."
For the record, it was a painkiller. It was like I don't know what it was, but it was.
I would
you got I
was like, I want a painkiller. We don't have that at this bar. You're like, well, let me teach you how to make it. Get a popsicle.
You got some sort of pina colada, and I was like, "Oh, that does taste refreshing. That does sound refreshing." So that's when the drinking started at Bartlett Hall. And
how did it start, though, Nick?
It started because Mike and I have a tradition. Anytime Mike comes into town, we got to get a marg. We got to get 1 or 2 margs. And so I was like, the guy came by and was like, what do you like? I'm like, do you guys want to get more drinks? Actually, the server came by this time. I was like, what do you guys want? And Tim goes, I think I'll do another old fashioned. And I was like, I'm going to get a marg. And then one by one, everyone's like, you know what? Let's just make it easy on this guy. Get a marg. What's up, SnowBikeMike?
Now, Greg, I want you to know that I'm a professional. I learned from you the best. I was drinking a Coca-Cola. I was in my mind. I was like, Mike, You got one goal tonight. Get all those motherfucking nerds on their feet. Like focus in, right?
Yeah.
Nick looks at me across the table and goes, why are you so quiet, Mike? Why the long face? What's wrong with you? Now he's poking me.
Poking
And
the
next thing
bear,
I know, now we're sucking down 2 margaritas, Greg. Okay. I want you to know I came in, no drinking. All of a sudden we let the top open.
It was a great moment because I forgot everybody had different first drinks. I had gotten a Moscow Mule. And we're all just having a good time. I'm waiting for my goddamn fries. They went to Mike. He thought they were his. He's fucking eating the fries that belong to
kept
me.
them away from you. It was weird.
Yeah. And then we all kind of just came to a consensus moment of like,
we're part.
All right, we just scarfed down one drink.
Yeah.
It's like we're 20% of the way there of possibly making this a night to remember. And they look around, they said, you want a marg? Oh, you want a marg too? And we all were like, let's all get margs. And it became a little marg night for all of us. It was
Who doesn't love a good marg night?
Now-
Yeah, everybody's
What
on the
was-
marg train.
What was the
Now, here's
conversation that Nick Scarpino had with the server? Because I saw Nick
Yes.
pull the server aside for.
Well, here's the
And
deal.
that's why this is the most important thing to bring up about this. Because Greg Miller, you've
Yep.
been on many trips like this with us.
I sure
We
have.
go out, we start hanging out as a group, the energy starts going. All of a sudden, we're ordering drinks, we're getting a round, we're getting another round. It's a whole thing.
I want to know:
Nick-
was the Mott's act enacted here?
There were
was no
none there.
mozzarella sticks there,
No.
but we did get a cheese item. We got 2 pretzels.
We did well.
to dip into
And-
cheese,
Okay,
which
great.
is
Just making sure. Just making
one
sure.
would say a deconstructed mozzarella stick. We can put it that way.
Mhm.
But
Shout
the
out
thing
to
that
the buffalo cauliflower is really good too.
fantastic. Shout out to Bartlett Hall
I
in
do-
San Francisco.
I
for
want
sure.
to tell you though, Greg.
Hey.
I'm saying, Tim, I apologize for interrupting.
Go
Before
for
I forget, I did try to enact the Mott's Act of 2022 later that night, but SnowBikeMike decided to go to the Melt instead of Mel's.
That's
Honestly.
what
That's
No,
what
no,
happened.
no,
It's an
no,
honest-
no,
I got so
no.
excited.
I was
when you said
wondering.
Mel's.
No, your ass was taking way too long, so I had to go by myself. Okay,
Mike,
we'll talk about that later.
I'm trying to
You didn't go by
cash out at the
yourself. You
bar.
went with
I'm trying to
Spaceman.
cash out at the bar. I'm like, Mike, we're gonna get food. Mike goes, no problem. I'm trying to cash out at the bar. I look over. I look back. Mike's 10 feet away. I look back. Mike's talking to someone at the door. I look back. Mike's gone. That's how that
That's how
works.
it
We'll talk
works.
about it. We'll get to that part later.
You got to
We'll
be
get to that
quick.
part
You got to
later.
be
All
quick with it. And then also, we're having drinks, Greg. We're having a fun conversation.
Yeah.
We're talking about kind of like what we're gonna do for the night. Nick and I are doing this improv bit where we're going to be doing improv with Alfredo and Trevor and Lindsay and Jeremy Dooley. And Nick goes, Andy, out of nowhere, I'm going to tell you to be at table. And we have a good laugh about that. I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, what a stupid way to do improv of just like, hey, look, Andy's at table. And like,
Oh no! Well, key improv, of course, is planning it beforehand.
sure.
The,
Yeah.
the key to good improv is, of course, sitting there being like,
No,
"Here's what's
no.
going to go on."
Now,
Andy, I want you to keep going. Just the quick thing there, though, is that he didn't say, I'm going to tell you this. He said, if things go bad, I'm just going to tell you to be at table.
Yeah, that was sort of like his emergency backup thing, Greg.
Mhm.
And we laugh. We have a good time. We keep on chatting. Mike blows up the restroom a little bit.
Mike
Yeah,
left
but
for
I'm serious
20
for
minutes.
like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Mike left for a while. We were like, damn, did he just walk off somewhere? And Mike comes back looking like a new human being.
Yeah.
Like
All that
the
booster came
demons,
out the gooster, if you know what I'm
the
talking
demons had been exorcised,
Jesus
and
Christ!
and Mike is like, I'm ready to fucking party, man. And he's just like ready to go. We're all hyped as hell. We're eating good food.
The way Mike came back though, it was like 9 days because like Mike was not shut down,
That's
but
what
like
I'm
definitely
saying.
quiet and reserved, and then left for 10 minutes and came back, and he's like, "I'm ready to fucking party." And like in my mind, I'm like, "Did Mike do cocaine in that
about.
bathroom?
Whatever.
Hey, what just happened?"
Yeah, it was a great time. So anyway, yeah. I mean, the night just kept on going, and then it came time. I felt like we were going to be there for hours, right? Because we had to be there by 4. The event started at 8, but it was more of like at 8 o'clock they do a Q&A. So the event doesn't really start there.
Oh, we still got to
I'm
talk
like-
about what Nick pulled the server aside for.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the quick thing is, Greg, we've been at so many of these events, right? And we know how it goes. And normally it's like me and you as the bigger drinkers that are the ones that with the cards, right? Because Nick's out here,
Sure.
he has the card, but he doesn't fucking drink like that. It's like it is
I'll
what
have
it is.
one cocktail and then I'll go roll with someone. Yeah, I know how it
Exactly,
goes.
exactly. Nick's
Accurate.
out here, and I was just like, whoa, I've never seen this man. This is not Nick Scarpino right now. I don't know what is going on.
He came
He's
out of
just
his COVID cocoon. We're all gonna come
He's
out
like-
different people on
he's like,
on the next con circuit. We're all fucked.
I want a margarita, but I don't want bad tequila.
Here's
Nick
right,
pulls
he
this
said
man
that.
aside to get better tequila in our margaritas.
Now
Does he pull you aside then, Nick, and be like, "Sir, I'm about to cover this with lime and sugar. It doesn't. It could be paint thinner. You wouldn't.
No.
It doesn't matter."
No, he was like, "Oh, I highly recommend that." Right. So because this is a craft cocktail bar, like Bartlett Hall has really good tequilas.
Fair.
And my thing is when I don't drink that often, so that when I do drink, it needs to be a slightly better alcohol than well, because it'll help with the hangover and it'll help me go longer. When I have well margaritas, I want to throw up after the second one because it's always disgusting. Like Jose Cuervo, whatever the fuck they got in the plastic bottle, just gives me nightmares of college. Sure. Anyway, they recommended me a nice tequila at a fine price point. I'll have you know, Greg. Tim thought it was too expensive, but I thought it was just
What was the fine
fine
price point?
They were $17.50 a piece, margaritas.
Oh my
That's fine,
fucking
whatever.
god!
It's not the
no,
worst.
that's
It's
a
a craft
lot
cocktail.
for a
We
margarita.
did get multiple rounds.
Well, it was a nice tequila drink. We got 2 rounds of them times 5. So
Special
that's not a big
occasion,
deal.
you know?
Special occasion.
You don't
So
wanna be alone.
$340 on margaritas.
I think your math was a little off there.
That's
is
a little
it?
high.
Was
That's
it?
a
Was
little
it?
Yeah,
Was it?
Yeah,
There's only 5 of
it
us.
was $85
Oh, it's
per
5 of
round,
you guys.
so it was
Got
about
it, got it.
$160, $170.
Sorry, I doubled it. That was my bad. I doubled it
Yeah,
for some reason.
not terrible. Not the best use of KindaFunny's money, but Greg wasn't there, so what am I gonna do? Cat's away, might as well play. So we go.
We're all co-founders. I don't. You're the guy who's in charge of the finances.
Fine, we got enough. Here's what I'm going to say though. So Greg, it's important that we set the mood for.
That's the one thing I've lost. You're all drinking. I don't know. Is the mood fun? Is it light? Are you worried? I don't know what's happening. Mike's just shitting. That's all I know right
At
now.
this point, Mike shit out the demons and was ready to fucking fly. Okay.
Okay.
We're on round 3 basically of drinks. Round 2 for me, but round 3 for these guys. Now, mind you, key point here. Remember when I said when I drink, I only like to drink premium level alcohol. Keep that in your brain, Greg.
That's what you said. Okay.
That's what I said. That's what I just said to you guys. That's what I said to the server. That's what I said to Tim. That's how I justified $160 worth of margaritas to bring a smile to SnowBikeMike's face, which he did fucking smile and he had a great time from this point on. But let's flash back to about an hour prior. We walk in with our fun energy, and we encounter Achievement Hunter. Hey, we're on day 3 of our live show in 3 different cities energy.
Sure.
Those are different levels of energy. And I was like, I walked around trying to be me. I'm like, what's up? What's up? What's up? And I'm not saying that people were like curt with me, but they were like, you just got here. We're on like hour 36 of this live show. Like, let us just do our job and go home. And I'm like, no problem. I'm totally get it.
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen. We roll back in after dinner. And I'm like, everyone in this fucking green room needs a WhiteClaw. Having just said, I only drink premium level alcohol when I drink.
Well, WhiteClaws, I mean, they're not premium in the sense they cost a lot. They're premium in taste, though, and value.
And we got a lot of bang for our buck out of this because we started, to quote Clarissa, she goes, it's really weird. I buy the same amount of alcohol every single show that we go to, that we've done. And we always have so much left over. And by the end of the night, people were like trying to spike Red Bulls. That's how desperate we were to get more alcohol because we had decimated the Trulies at this point. Just gonzo. And then I went home, which is the craziest thing. And apparently John showed up, which was cool. Like I'm super pumped that you guys got to hang out with John. That was awesome.
Jesus Christ.
Turns out also John forgot all of his clothes at the bar and forgot to go get those clothes. So
no.
We're like halfway.
Well, John can get a new Johnny Ace polo from KindaFunny.com/store right now.
This is like halfway through the show, and I'm sure we'll run a little bit to talk about the actual show. But like, I'm chilling in the green room, just hanging out in like a quiet, pretty calm green room, and all of a sudden I see an arm stick into the room, and it's an arm holding an iPhone.
I'm sorry,
playing rock music, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And then I see Johnny Ace slowly make his way and like groove into the room and just start to like work the room for some reason.
Oh, work in the room, Greg. This man, not only did Johnny, but also Nick, when we first arrived, work the room. This man's handing WhiteClaws to people. They're putting it on the table like, nah, I'm good. He brought a certain energy to this green room that it needed. And we proceeded to drink a lot because of Johnny Ace and Nick.
Oof.
How did Johnny Ace introduce himself?
Hey, I'm John Olace, Esquire, Knight of the Old Republic. I just never experienced that. Like, this was we've seen John L. Ace at the height of his powers, and this was John L. Ace who has been quarantined for 2.5 years, and it was unlike anything I've ever seen. Like everybody loved him. At one point, we're backstage, and Johnny Ace walks into the room and goes, "I'm FaceTiming Nick's wife right now. It's fucking hot." and then he hangs up, and then ends up saying, "All right, I gotta call this chick back."
He said that. At one point, I see him talking, guys. I see Johnny Ace talking to one of the audio people from the theater, not an achievement hunter person, one of the actual professionals that worked this event. And Johnny Ace is talking to him, totally like, yeah, man, I'm going to do this. Okay, cool. I totally get it. There's a mirror next to him. He gets distracted by the mirror and goes,
God damn, I look good.
Damn, I look good. You see this guy? To a man that had nothing to do with this.
Total civilian.
Oh, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Utterly
Johnny has
insane.
taken off the way he's taken off.
John was just happy to be around you guys. He misses you guys. That was fun. But before that happened, I think we did our bit, and it was fun, but it went as you would imagine. One person with a shocked arm and the other person blindfolded. We couldn't even get past the very first jump. So we decided to call an audible, take the blindfold off Blessing, and I go, Andy, put the shocker on Blessing's arm. Now, Greg, there's of course 4 different settings for this shocker, and Andy set it to 4 for some reason. Threw it on Blessing's arm, and Blessing's arm convulses up into the air, and he screams, "Oh God, get that fucking thing off my arm!"
I misunderstood the rule. I misunderstood the instructions. Much like I misunderstood a lot of the instructions for the night, because Greg, I had to start off, my first bit was with Blessing. We did one of those werewolf games, right? Sure. And we've seen this game a bunch before. We've played it with Achievement Hunter and with Funhouse at other sort of reunions and events like that. And I thought it was the one where, like, all right, now everybody heads down. Werewolves, do your thing. Everybody's awake now.
Werewolves kill somebody.
I'm used to that sort of werewolf game. And this was a game that they were playing based on a board game.
Yeah, it's One Night Ultimate Werewolf.
And like, there's actual card pieces.
Oh, the rules were brutal too.
And they're showing us the rules live as we're and I'm like, oh, I have to listen to Larry tell us the rules. And I look down at my card. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm the werewolf. The werewolf was the first guy that they mentioned the rules for. I don't know what I'm doing. That was just a mess, Greg. I did not know what I was doing this whole game. I was just trying
Did you immediately beat the table?
No, that's
pull your shit level and just go down to the table.
That's a bit later. Eventually, they found out I was a werewolf. That was a good time, and then we go on to do improv.
Okay.
And we are playing a game called like a game where you're always asking questions. You always have to ask a question.
Yeah, it's right? Yes and basically. So it's whoever, it's the improv game where if you don't answer the question with a question, you're out, and you rotate in. But Lindsay, being so good at this, kept murking everyone. So it's me, and I think it was me and you, Andy, right on the same team. And finally, she gets out, and I walk up, and Greg, come on, you know what I mean, like. What am I?
How many years now? You got
and by this point, 4 hours have gone by. This is the furthest thing from my mind. And Nick has asked a question. He says, "Is Andy a table?" And I fucking just lose it.
This is in front of like 1,000 people who do not know what
they didn't know the inside joke.
If I may, as one of the people that were just watching, I have no context for any of this. This I don't know. I'm not sure why. One of the funniest things I've experienced in a live show ever in my life. I laughed hysterically for a solid 2 minutes. I didn't think I'm sure if you guys tried just a little bit, you could hear me rolling on the floor laughing. I don't understand. It was hilarious.
So like the audience obviously confused by this.
Very confused.
So I have to kind of.
Well, because what was the setup, by the way? What
We were
were
in a
you
hospital
being
or
a table?
something.
Yes, it
I
was
think we're supposed to be a
always the
hospital.
most. There was one time it ends. It's like we're in a bathroom and he's a table.
So he goes, "Is Andy a table?" I'm like, "Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me!" And I go into all fours like a table. And the audience, like, not really laughing, very confused. And I go, hold on, I have to explain this, everybody. And I explained to the audience, look, 3 hours ago, Nick mentioned that he might jokingly say that I'm a table in the improv bit. And I didn't think he was going to actually fucking do it. And luckily, the audience fucking dies. Like, the audience is just laughing a lot, which is, like, I'm so glad that happened because I would have felt even worse about it. But it was the funniest shit of all time, and multiple times throughout that. Oh look, Andy's a table again. It kind of like became the thing of the night, and I'm so glad it did because I was like, I fucking hate this guy.
Greg,
I want to tell you.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, Kevin.
Would you believe that it not a single time did it get old? Every time it did, and the room went wild. The room went wild.
The only thing I want to give Andy a couple compliments. One, he sold the joke. He sold it. It wasn't funny when I did it. It was funny when Andy sold it to the audience. And two, the next setup was that my group, we were babysitting.
Yeah, this is a good one.
And so I'm like, okay, well, they're the parents. I'll be the baby. And so I got on my back on the couch and just went like this and started cawing like babies do.
Yeah.
Nobody else on stage understood what I was doing.
Well,
Me and
Fred, wait, hold on. Because they explained the rules to you 15 seconds earlier. You and the other two contestants were 3 spies protecting the president's baby.
Could have still been the baby. I could have been the spy. Could have been the baby.
I mean, I guess so, but it was very clear.
Thank you,
only
Kevin.
you
Thank you.
didn't understand the rules.
Thank you.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
That was
Yeah,
all
because
nice.
I'm assuming all of them are spies, and they're trying to. And in this game, Greg is
I didn't even hear that rule.
I think it's sit, stand,
lay.
Sit, stand, lay. Everybody has one person standing, and if the person standing decides to lay down and go, so there's something on the ground here, the person who was laying down has to stand up and replace them. It's a constant thing. But Nick sitting in the chair on the stage just decides to go with his feet up. I have to get it. Just does this. And then starts going, and then me and Fredo notice it immediately, and we both know what he's doing, and he's just going, and Trevor and Lindsay are like, I guess we got to deal with this. I guess he's the baby.
You know, Greg, when you're doing improv, you want to be a burden on your improv partners, right? We want to make them uphill battle the entire time.
It's just unbelievable.
I look over at Andy, and I have never seen Andy laugh that hard at me in my life. Oh, that made the whole night worth it.
It was so great. It was so fucking funny. The bits I was very worried about, and I think the audience ended up liking them because there's always that worry of like, are these people going to get the humor? You know, do these people know me well enough? And sure enough, at the start of the werewolf bit, I'm trying to do my Andy humor, and it doesn't. Like, people don't laugh at the first thing I say. I'm like, oh, they don't know at anything that I do, really. So I kind of like have to adapt in that way where we're playing this werewolf game, and I'm like, okay, yeah, and everybody, we're like 10 minutes into playing. I'm like, right. So what are the rules again? And nobody laughs. I'm like, oh fuck, this is not gonna go well. And luckily, we tried to adapt.
I mean, hats off to you because we all know Achievement Hunter fans just no taste. So you come in there with some highbrow entertainment like that, and these troglodytes, they don't know what they're doing. They're just used to eating whatever slob Jack Patillo farts out. I respect you guys for going out there trying and bring it. Oh, we lost somebody. Somebody didn't want to be a part of that comment.
Somebody had to get their face off of that one.
Like. No, it's Discord just keeps disconnecting.
Random people. Who is it?
That
was reset for me.
Andy.
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
It just shut down.
So, go for it, Mike.
I was just gonna say I want to give a big shout out to Nick though. Nick up to this point has been a lost cause, Greg. But when we did our segment, Nick did an incredible job of crowd sourcing and working with the crowd. He pointed out this old lady who should not have been there, just a random lady, and is now working with her on where he should be putting all of these muscle contractors on Tim and Blessing, which was awesome to see. He did a great job.
There's one, because there's always like one old lady that brought a kid that's probably too young to be exposed to any of this, sitting in the front row. And I was like, ma'am, because you clearly don't want to be here. And I'm making an assumption, but I'm like, she's well into her 70s, so I assume she has no idea what a fucking Let's Play is. I was like, since you don't want to be here, I will give you the choice of where we're going to place the electrodes on Tim. His head, his arm, or anywhere below his waist. Thinking, of
she
course,
immediately was like, cock.
She froze. And I'm like, standoff. I'm not going to budge first, right? First person to say it. First person to say number loses, right?
This is great content.
Dude, I had to step in.
Mike had to step in, and yeah, it was an embarrassing moment for all of us.
Like Tim mentioned, like an hour ago now, that we didn't necessarily do a rehearsal or run through. We just did the run a show, and that was about it. I feel like that showed in the moment where we started doing our segment, right, which is like the Super Mario 64, getting to the end of Bowser's Castle in the early level, and it being Tim with the contraption on him, like the shock contraption on him, and then me with the blindfold. What I was told about the shock contraption is that like when you put it on you, it doesn't shock you. It just like causes your muscles to jerk in a certain way. And so
it's not a shock collar; it's a muscle contractor. So that's
totally different.
It is.
100%.
There is
I don't know
no
if it
shock.
is.
No, it totally is. There's no shock feeling. Have you ever done the lightning round thing that we used to do, Bless?
I've not done that. No,
it's not that. It is not that. That is a bah, motherfucker. Nah, it's not that.
That actually burns. Like that.
Blessing, don't worry. When we get back to the studio, I assure you I'm bringing a new shock game.
Blessing,
whatever this was, when Andy put it on me at max velocity, immediately I was like, oh, this is not what I was expecting. This fucking hurts. And then when I start hollering like, all right, it's on max, it's on max, it's on max. I forget who it was. It was either Andy or Mike. I think it was Andy who came up and started pushing the button to try and turn it down.
I'm just panicking. And I'm just like
pushing the button.
I think they said the middle button, maybe. I don't know.
And with each push of the button, he kept making it worse and worse. Where it started off with like just like really hard taps, like dot 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 dot, and I'm like, oh man, that's kind of rough. Oh man, that hurts. Turn it down a little bit. It then turns into like a faster like da 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 da, like it goes like that, and I'm like, guys, it's getting higher. Andy pushes it again, and it turns into a constant vibration, which I forget. I think it was Nick that described it as it feels like a bunch of bees are stinging you, or maybe it was Andy that said this.
That was me. Yeah.
It feels like a bunch of bees are stinging you. It was that at all the way max velocity. And like we're playing Mario like this, and at that moment I'm just like, y'all, I can't take this shit anymore, and I'm like fucking hollering. So that's how that went without any sort of like run through a rehearsal.
It was
we
unpleasant.
didn't see Bowser. That's all you need to know.
Okay, got it.
The goal was to see Bowser. We didn't get.
We didn't see Bowser, but I saw stars.
I do want to say, Greg, you know how much we all love you, and I love you a lot. Tim did say, Mike, if you want to win over this crowd, because they didn't know who we were, and I had to intro us. He said, start the Greg Sucks chant. And for some reason, those Achievement Hunter fans, they really latched onto that, Greg.
Oh, man. We were there.
I went out there, it's like, hey, I'm SnowBikeMike. You don't know me, but you know my boss. He sucks. And we just started going.
So the question I have for you there.
I want Greg to answer this question. While he does that, Kevin, can you pull up the video that I sent you, please? Greg, continue.
Which video? Videos and assets, by the way.
This one, okay.
But I slacked to Kevin.
Well, then watch the videos. The video's already pulled up.
Well, I mean, I could pull it back.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Tim, you gotta shoot. You gotta start. If you're shooting
sideways,
you gotta wait. He shoots sideways, but he starts straight. So now the whole video is sideways.
I had to get him worked up.
I love it, Mike.
So Achievement Hunter Live, I need your help right now. We need to tuck Greg under the bed. We're going to send him one message from the next generation of KindaFunny. So we're going to start the chant, Greg sucks, right now. Everyone help me out?
Can't believe they did this to you, Greg.
I know.
Horrible, Greg. Just remember that when it comes time to put people in your will.
There you are. They just panned the camera to you. Wasn't that you?
Was that? Oh, no.
No, that's not him.
No way.
Yeah, so my question is, of course, if you watch KFW wrestling, you saw that I used this as a bit yesterday to fight Mike in the best 2 out of 3 falls match. The question I had in the I of course sent a wrestling promo where I tore Achievement Hunter a new asshole and called them all out like the snakes they are. But did that air before the Greg Sucks chant or after the Greg Sucks chant?
We did Greg Sucks twice. We did Greg Sucks twice.
Okay.
We did one early. And
It's a good thing to fall back on, yeah.
Well, the first time around, I'm sure there was at least a few people in the crowd who was like, I don't know this Greg guy. I'm not going to chant that he sucks. Then they saw me tear apart Jack Patillo and all their friends, and he was like, you know what? No, I hate this guy.
They needed very little motivation.
Just for clarification, there were actually 3 Greg Sucks chants the entire night. Number 1 was when Mike, what you just saw, Mike came out for our bit. That happened, and it went down. Later, Jeff came out. Jeff started one, and then it happened. And then they did the AH live bit, and Greg cut a promo, or sorry, HW bit, where Greg cut a promo on the entire Achievement Hunter Wrestling Federation. And I'm just going to say it. It was the biggest, like, laugh out loud, audience totally fucking into it moment of the entire night. Everyone was like, holy shit, fuck this guy, Greg Miller. I hate him. So many of them didn't know who you were, but they're like, fuck you, I hate you. But throughout the like minute and a half video, you won every single person.
They were loving it, Greg.
I do not have the video.
They ate it up with the spoon.
I have it somewhere. Hold on, let me drag it.
It's on Twitter. Yeah.
Because I tweeted dude, Greg, you went from being one of the like, the heels that people just like actually hate and want to boo because they don't like you, to a heel that they're like, yo, this guy is fucking amazing because he's being real, and like we support everything.
Like I see him, you know what I mean?
You called it like you saw it. It was so goddamn good. Everyone was so hyped, and then we start the HW bit where all of us kind of come out, and then yet another Greg Sucks chant happened.
Kevin, I just sent you the video. If you can play that over there, if you want to show me at work in my natural element.
We're gonna show.
Of course, you want to see me then cut the. It's 1:40. Yeah. If you want to see me cut a promo on Mike, you can go to KFW, YouTube.com/KindaFunnyPlays.
I do look forward to telling you a story in a moment. I did fuck up once. Still.
What do you mean?
Oh, you fucked up?
I fucked up. I'll tell you all about it.
Okay. San Francisco. My city by the bay. What's up, everybody? My name's Greg Miller from a little company called KindaFunny. And if you didn't know, KindaFunny based right here in San Francisco. And if you didn't realize, I wouldn't be caught dead at Achievement Hunter Live. I don't care that it's right down the road from me. Are you kidding me? Have you looked at this roster of talent? Jeremy Dooley. I wrote a book once. Alfredo Diaz. I used to get Greg's coffee at IGN. Jack Patillo. How old are you, Jack? Isn't there some Denny's menu you should be getting and going to sleep, Grandpa? Gotta get up early. I'm going to another theme park. Shut the fuck up. So what I'm gonna do tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is show you what Achievement Hunter really is. Talentless hacks. Me, Greg Miller. Me, 2-time BYWF champion Gruesome Greggy. Me, Trending Gamer of the Year, is going to enter your little AAW arena and show you what real wrestling acumen looks like. So if you actually care about Achievement Hunter, and let me set the record straight and remind you, they don't care about you. 19 years later, Rooster Teeth doesn't care about you. They care about Warner Brothers. They care about selling you a new Batman movie. They care about getting more money in Barb's pocket. You're not going to like what Gruesome Greg is about to do to them. The wild swing on Barb, who has nothing to do with any of this.
It was great.
They get her. That one.
They lost it, dude.
And everybody, of course, missed you, Greg. They were like when this was pre-screened, everybody who was working the event was like, God, this is fucking great. This is great.
Yeah. Not only that, like everyone that was working the event was like, oh my God, Greg, I'm so happy he's even a part of this at all. Like, so sad you weren't there. And then, like, I would say the saddest moment of the night was Achievement Hunter Wrestling started, right? And everyone was coming out, and just like everything, we weren't really sure exactly how it's all going, but we're all standing in the back ready to come out when we're introduced. Mike comes out And Mike was asked because of his amazing broadcast voice, because he brings the hype, like we all know he can. It took 2 minutes of Jack Patillo meeting this man to be like, we got to upgrade him to being the host of this fucking segment, which I think is the coolest thing that happened the entire night. Mike, you're the best, and I'm so happy that all it takes is people 1 minute to realize, yo, this is what we need to fucking do. Yeah. So Mike is introducing every single person to this bit, and so for people that don't know, it was WWE 2K22, people coming out. There's a pre-done match. 2019 technically, playing on the screen, and one by one, people would come out in real life as their video game characters came out. And when Greg came out, everyone thought he was actually going to come out, and it was like such a sad moment when like it was just also. I mean, I love Achievement Hunter to death, but I'm going to talk shit here. This bit, it needs just a little bit more production because it was 45 minutes for each fucking entrance. I swear to God. People are coming out. It's just music playing, random shit's going on. And it's just like people walking down, and then they're on stage for way too long without any direction. I was like, as a producer, I'm like, God, this is killing me right now. And then that happened so many times that Greg was like 4th or 5th to come out. And Greg's character comes out, and everyone in the crowd's looking around like, where's he coming from?
Yeah, they were excited.
He just didn't come out, and it was like, this is so sad. But it did make room for a great Greg sucks chant. So
great,
that was good.
As long as that happened, as long as you guys got to deliver on that.
Yeah.
That's the important thing.
And the wrestling match was great because it came down to Greg and Michael Jones at the end.
Jeremy Dooley.
Oh, Jeremy, yeah.
And Jeremy ended up winning, which gave that the fun Achievement Hunter like pop. Yeah. It was great, man. It was great.
As I tweeted, like this was a big growth opportunity for me and a big sign of growth because I did 2 takes of the promo and I sent them both to Roger, and then I sent a bulleted list of what not to include. Where I crossed the line, maybe dragged families into it, maybe dragged COVID into it. I was like, you know what? I shouldn't be there. I went too far. Tyler
That's good. That is growth. We're proud of you, Greg. We're really proud of you. And then I would say, Kevin, can you bring up the videos that I put in assets?
Yeah, I got them ready to go.
Because this is some of them. Really this is just kind of getting back to it's all kind of one continuous thing. Yeah, this is something I posted on Instagram.
Is this the first one or the second one?
That's the first one. Yeah. This is the Ace Man backstage with me kind of narrating. Did he bring
a family crew with him? Like a family?
Yeah, it looks like he brought his own family crew.
No, let's just hear what the documentary crew is here to film Achievement Hunter, but Nick has been hogging all of the camera time, or Johnny Ace, sorry. Johnny Ace has been taking all of the attention away. The whole night, like we don't really need to see the second one. It's just me saying I hate this man, but like the documentary crew back there is trying to document this whole tour.
Ace is a part of it.
The Ace is just like at one point grabbing the boom mic. Oh, what's this? This is nice. And like starts rubbing it against his face. He's looking in the camera. He's talking to the camera people, like bringing them into it. It's just like,
man, listen.
God, he's
you
just the
You guys want to
worst.
have fun, or do you want to fucking retire early? That's all I gotta say.
At one point,
we brought the fun.
The camera guy had a little like piece of tape with a bunch of letters and numbers and codes on it, and Nick was like, "It's a cool name."
The best thing about this is what we just saw. Sure, there were cameras, there was a boom mic, there was a documentary thing being filmed, so Johnny Ace was performing for the camera. That represents approximately 0.02% of the night.
Yeah.
The rest of the night was just Johnny Ace there, acting like that the entire time. Like we've seen the Ace Man do his thing. I have never seen the Ace Man do his thing and not break character for 6 hours behind the scenes without an actual audience. It was incredible. Absolutely.
He texted us all selfies of him for no reason.
He did, Greg. And I told him airdrop it to the crowd. See who gets it.
Oh my God.
Now here's the thing. I need to give a little bit more context to all this too, because like I know to the kind of funny audience, all the trogs out there, the best friends, they all get it. They understand what's going on here. But the poor workers of Achievement Hunter, whether they were talent or behind the scenes or the documentary crew. They didn't know the events team of Rooster Teeth. They didn't understand what's happening. Nick's been here the whole time being full out Nick, being 3 margaritas deep Nick, right? And everyone's having a great time. About halfway through the show, Nick just looks at one of them that he's been talking to for a long time and just goes, oh, hold on. Hey, my friend's outside. I got to get them. They're a special guest in the show. I'll be back. Leaves. And any normal person would just be like, okay, yeah, that totally makes sense. They're getting a friend to bring into the show, whatever.
He brought Nick
And that's when Johnny Ace comes back. That's when Johnny Ace first appears.
During that whole
music,
time, during the whole time when Nick pieces out to grab his friend, they kept asking us like, "Hey, is he gonna be good? Like getting another person in here? Like, do we need to talk to security? Like, we can talk and like make sure that
they're
have
asking
access."
very serious logistical questions.
Very good logistical questions,
stuff like that, Greg. It's like,
and the whole time we were like, "No, he'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Like, his friend will make it in fine."
Yeah, and they were like, "Are you sure?" Like, because the entrance, I'm not sure what entrance they need to come through. It's like, no, guys, he's doing it. He's doing
a bit. It's a bit.
He's
Don't worry.
doing it.
It's just Greg. They're not used to working with real talent over at Achievement
I hear you.
Hunter. You know what I
respect it.
mean? So it's
Yeah,
like nobody understands when they see a fucking shooting star what it is. They're like cavemen, like, oh, the sky is falling. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Yeah.
again, they've been working with these Achievement Hunter people for so long.
God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was a great
Fun
time.
night.
It was
Then
a great night.
Then we tried to go after where we wrapped. I came back and I missed John by like a second.
Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry.
We decided I told everyone, I was like, we're going right back to Bartlett Hall. We're gonna get some more of those pretzel bites. It's gonna be great. And sure as shit, Bartlett Hall was closed. Cocktail lounge on a Friday night. Why the fuck wouldn't they
Why would
close
it be
at like
open?
10 o'clock?
Man,
So-
I was so sad about that. I wanted
so
more
fun.
food.
massive miss.
So Kevin starts looking at bars. He goes, why don't we go to Novella? And I'm like, it's a little too far. Right across the street is an Irish pub. Then I'm like, we'll get a cocktail over there. I'm not going to drink too much. Walk in, and I immediately realized I made a mistake because this is an Irish bar, massive live band. No one listening to the live band except for one old lady who was just doing the old lady mom dance. You know, when they just stand here and they're like a little too drunk, but they're still standing and they're dancing and they're clearly either involved with someone in the band or want to be involved with someone in the band because nobody else likes this band. They played all fucking night at 1,000 decibels.
Yeah.
Wait, did you also ask the guy outside where he was from?
Yeah, I thought it'd be funny.
He did.
There was just a guy, like a normal dude, Greg, leaving this bar, and then all of a sudden,
they had Irish accents.
Yeah, he was
Well,
very
very,
clearly
very
Irish.
Irish.
He was very
Very
clearly
Irish.
I think what it was like his partner, I think, had come around the corner to meet up with him, and he's like, and she's like, John, and I think Nick, you can tell me if I'm wrong or right. I think Nick heard that.
One
and
of my
went,
fans.
Oh,
Well, I thought
they're
she
from the
was-
show.
No, I thought she was talking. I thought she saw Johnny. I was like, oh, is he here? Is he here?
God.
So I was like, oh, are you friends with John? Like,
well,
where are you from? Do you know?
Then she either was waiting for, like, had an Uber waiting, or was pretending to have an Uber waiting to get this man to leave. Nick,
Greg, you can't turn it. You just can't just turn it off.
Nick,
You know what I mean?
it's
You
one
got
of
to
those
drain
things,
the
like, I
battery. You got to
appreciate-
drain the battery.
I appreciate all 4 of these folks here, all right? But they don't know what it's like to operate at an entertainment level you and I do.
They don't
Where
get
when
it.
you come off stage, what are you going to do with that excess energy, all right?
Exactly.
We didn't all have a popsicle in our drink the night before, and we're just feeling a little bit okay right now. We're out there, we're Jones and we're juiced, and we're ready to go.
I'm loose as a
These
goose,
people were also
man.
like 50 years old. They were definitely not part of the Johnny Ace audience.
plus they were older. They were older than that. They were.
I know. I'm not trying to be rude.
So one by one, everyone starts to trickle into this Irish pub because word gets out like, hey, this is where the after party is. So some of the organizers come. I hit that point where I'm like, I'm done drinking. I don't want to drink anymore. I just want to get food. But everyone wanted one more cocktail. So I was trying to interview everyone and grab whoever wanted to go and get food.
Sure.
It turned out it was just like 3 of us or 4 of us that wanted to go. I was like, Tim, do you want to get food? And he was like, I'm going to stay for one more drink. He was still feeling it. I could have swore I told Andy, but I guess I didn't tell you, Andy, that we were leaving. Kevin's like, what are you doing? And this is why I love Kevin. I'm like sandwiched in between 5 people. The bartender here, not having the fact that he has to work this hard.
Did this bartender not look like he sold milkshakes and like
100%.
wooden toys
100%.
and fucking
Yep.
like
Yep.
lollies
Yep.
in Willy
This guy
Wonka
looked like
or
he was working
something?
It was the
soda
glasses.
fountain.
It was the glasses.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
soda fountain. So this guy's already pissing me off. I've asked for my check 3. I've asked
Just
for
to
my
be
check
clear,
3
no,
times.
just to be clear, this guy is being a dick.
He's being
Like
a
he is not
He was
being
being
a
a dick.
bartender.
Yeah.
He was busy, but he was also like, if he wasn't talking to you to get you a drink, he was ignoring you. Like you weren't
It was
there.
annoying.
And people were constantly like going up, being like, "Excuse me," and he would just walk by.
Yeah, Kevin. So Kevin sees this, walks over, and I'm trying to flag this guy down. I've asked him 3 times already. I'm getting pissed. And Kevin goes, "Hey, are you closing out?" And I'm thinking, "Oh yeah, Kevin's probably gonna want to go get food with us, right?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm just trying to close out right now." And he goes, "Okay, cool. Can you give me a Coke?" Like, God damn it, Kevin. And he just laughed and walked away.
I needed that Coke. I'm sorry.
I got him a Coke. That was funny.
Yeah,
you didn't know that I was trying to close out. Yeah,
No,
I'm not blaming you
I
for
could
that.
tell, but it
was
just like
perfect timing.
unfortunately with this guy, I knew it was.
You got to take your shot.
Yeah.
If somebody's gonna get this man's attention, let's just get it all on one thing. And get done with it.
So we ended up closing out, and then I caught up with Mike at the Melt, and then we almost saw some people get into a fight. And then I left Mike, got an Uber, went home. And that's when I got the text from Kevin saying, "Where is Mike?" And I said, "He's got a sandwich for you." And Kevin's like, "Great."
We made his night, Nick. You were right. So yeah, that's
he tried to throw that sandwich out, Kevin. He was like, "Do you want to eat this?" I was like, "Kevin's gonna want this sandwich."
I am 100% certain that Mike just always does the worst thing now.
Yeah.
What time was this about?
Me
It was
and
like at
Kevin
2
didn't
a.m.
get enough time together. We missed each other this weekend. It wasn't fun. It wasn't a good time.
1 o'clock in the morning, 1:30 in the morning.
1:30. Yeah, because I remember like around that time. Because I also wanted to go to, I guess, the Mel. I kept hearing Mel's or something.
I was
else.
trying to get us all to go to
we
Mel's
talked about
because it's
Mel's,
open
which I was
late.
excited for.
Gotcha.
It's open till like 2 or 3 in the morning, or maybe later. I've been to Mel's super late, but the other Kevin was like, "No, it's closed," and I was like, "I'm too tired and too drunk to." I don't think it
Look
was.
it up.
No, we walked by it to the car. It was closed. They weren't letting us in.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
So the one by the
Yeah,
metronome.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like I was planning on going, but then Kevin had gotten me a martini, and it was the most potent martini I've ever.
I had gotten
drank in
several
my life.
martinis, and I love them.
Yeah, so I was not.
martinis.
You guys were like peacing out for Mel's, and I was like, I feel like I should drink more of this martini. Like there's a lot left of this thing. But it got to around like I think 1:30, 2 a.m. where this place was closing. And so like we're all walking outside, and then I'm like, okay, it's 2 a.m. Like I've been steadily drinking throughout the entire day since like 5 p.m. since we're at
The
Bartlett.
marathon.
Yeah, because I went from drinking my cocktail to drinking multiple rounds of margaritas with like whatever Nick put in there, and to drinking white Claw when we
Tequila.
get
It was
back.
just tequila. I want
It was
everyone
just
to know.
tequila? All
Yeah,
right.
you can't be leaving people on a cliffhanger like that.
It was potent. But then went from that to drinking a lot of White Claw, and then eventually beer at the thing, to then drinking at this bar that we went out afterwards. And so it's 2 a.m. and I'm like, I should probably go home. And then Kevin turns to me and he's like, "Hey man, we're thinking about going back to my place and getting the hot tub." And I was like, that sounds like a fun time.
That does sound fun.
I've not swam in Kevin's hot tub before. I'm down for a hot tub.
Swam.
You don't swim. You don't swim.
I'm down for a hot tub.
You got to take a dip. You take a dip in a hot tub. You got to take a dip in a hot tub.
Haven't taken a dip in Kevin's hot tub, and so that's what we ended up doing right after that.
Here's what I want to know from everyone. I know we're getting long on this one. Was this a night to remember?
Yes.
Because
I mean,
one of the
I
things
wasn't
that
even there, and yes, 100%.
good, because one of the things that I feel bad about for people who are newer in the employ of KindaFunny is that they hadn't had a night like this yet. Now I don't know what you guys did, if you guys went hard at GDC or whatever, because I remember I had one appointment, tuckered me out, went right home. But I remember thinking midway through, I was like, this is really fun.
This is what we promised these people when we
this is
made the move to San Francisco and hang out
exactly.
with us.
And I was like, Mike was always like, every time Mike was like, "Are we gonna party if I come down there?" And I'm like, "Yes." He's always trepidatious about it. Like, I don't think Nick's serious about this. I don't think Nick's gonna pull the trigger on a good time. Mike, did you have a good time?
I had a great time, Nick. Something
I'm
to
very
remember.
Mike,
Blessing,
you missed the
did
best
you
time,
have a
though.
good time?
I did have a good time. Honestly, the hot tub was the cherry on top.
That's
And
incredible.
we were in that hot tub until I think 3:30 a.m. and then we ate pizza afterwards.
I was
And
going
it
to say, what was the story with the pizza? Because that was something you talked about, where
missed
Mike was
that.
hungry but went to bed, but then you had pizza, but Paula wouldn't let you guys bring a pizza in the hot tub.
On our
Kevin, you
way
wanna
to
take this?
on our way back to our house, we ordered a pizza, which arrived shortly before we got in the hot tub. But Paula was like, "Oh, we'll just have the pizza after the hot tub," and it was like, "All right, well, that seems." I mean, I had a mouthful of grilled cheese sandwich, so I
Yeah, he did.
You know,
Yeah, he did.
I couldn't push to change that, but I definitely
understand.
wanted
I respect
to.
that.
I was
I respect
definitely like,
that.
I don't know if that's the right choice, sweetie. I think maybe we should take the pizza down.
That's great. What a fun night.
It was a great day.
We took back the night, everybody.
I was
Sorry, I
so
missed
shocked to see you all tweet like I'm in bed at fucking 3:40 something in the morning, and I see a tweet from Kevin and Blessing, I think, saying we took back the night. I was like, oh my god.
And again, that's it for me. Where I see the flashes of greatness from Achievement Hunter Live from you guys, right? I see the Greg Sucks tweets. I see the things going on here, and then it was I think it was I got up to take care of Benjamin at like I don't know 2 a.m. or something, and there was I'm gonna screw it up, but either Blessing or Kevin, we took back the night. It was Blessing, I think, early, and it was like an hour old. So I was like, oh, 1 o'clock. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then I had like a 5 o'clock in the morning Benjamin thing, and I looked at it, and that was a Kevin tweet that was like 2 hours old. And I was like, wait a second. Wait a second. They took back the night and then some, apparently.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Mike should have came through the pool though, or through the hot tub.
Well, I like that Mike just woke up in the morning and was like, I'm immediately out of here. I'm going to Muir Woods. I don't care what any of these jabronis are doing.
Exactly.
Nick, we will start with you. WW Wayne writes in and says it was Andy's 5th anniversary of joining Kinda Funny this past weekend. What are the other guys' favorite moments with Andy throughout those 5 years? Nick, clear your head. Favorite Andy moment, go.
Oh, favorite Andy moment. Oh, favorite Andy moment probably was Toronto when we got the best viral pickup on any of our Instagrams for taking pictures that Greg was like a quarter into and just cutting him out of it.
Sure.
That was one of my favorite things we've ever done. That was also a really fun trip where we all just got to bro out and like and get steaks and hang out with James and Elise and just live the fun convention life where we had like
we didn't know it was about to end. We didn't know it was about to end for 2.5 years.
But that was anytime I got to travel with Andy, that was always that's always a
Blessing harder because you've been locked in a room for your entire employment here. But favorite Andy moment?
Yeah, it's tough because I've not gotten to actually hang out with Andy as much IRL. But one that I remember for me was being in that in the studio those first couple months in 2020, and I tried to get into Bloodborne. And I was struggling because I was like very tense and anxious about like all the horror shit that goes on in the game.
Sure,
snakes,
and a lot of snakes in that game. And Andy at that point was like on the other side of my desk, right? Because we were back to back. And he hears me playing Bloodborne. I think Andy's also playing Bloodborne at this exact same time. And he like comes over, tries to help me, and he sees how much like I'm squirming and how much I'm struggling with this thing. That's like that is like my Andy memory of being at the studio, even though I was only there for like a couple of months. Was like him trying to guide me and help me.
Would you say I gave you the push you needed? I said,
I'd say so.
Blessing, I've been in your position. I've been the scared child, fucking awful snakes and scary shit. But I'm on the other side of it, and it is something special.
Yeah.
Mike, what's yours?
I have a lot with Andy Cortez, but I'll keep it simple. Of course, the creation of the Jabroni Boys and watching Andy soar with the Falcar. And then us sharing the moment of Mario with Tim was pretty.
Tim, what do you got?
That was great.
Dude, I mean, there's so many that I am unwilling to talk about that are not the content ones. Just the me and Andy talking shit brings me so much joy. But the one kind of content moment that I will always hold so near and dear to my heart, one of my favorite Kind of Funny moments of all time, is the opening of Kind of Funny Live 3 when Andy is on stage playing the anthem on guitar.
That was awesome.
And it's him, and he got the whole outfit. He just committed so hard. He learned the song. But there's one moment in particular where he just stops and he puts his hand up. And like he just puts his hand up almost as if to shush the audience. Mm-hmm. But he knew what he was doing. It was to like, yeah, exactly. It was like, you're bothering me. But like they went fucking crazy. And then he goes back to playing. That one moment, like it just filled me with so much confidence that like I work with the greatest people in the entire fucking planet. And like, we knew we were putting on the dopest live show ever, but like we started it off with Andy's talent fucking just going full on. And that it was that one hand. I see it in my head right now. Oh, that was incredible.
For me, it'll sound self-serving or whatever, but Andy is my favorite person to make laugh. Like I love his laugh, and I love how much he likes laughing at me and the stupid things I do. And so just recently, actually, I was trying to make space on my phone, clear up, I have 65,000 photos and videos on my phone, which is a lot. God. And so I was like, you know what, I'll start cleaning up my hard drive kind of thing here. And I was going through, and one of my favorites is on there, and I can't delete it, but I watch it and laugh every time. And it's the one where Andy had only been working with us, I don't even know, a couple months, maybe even a couple weeks. And it's where, Andy, you remember where I crawled under from my desk side while you were working, and then I touched your knee and you just flip the fuck out and you panic. This is my favorite because it's your laugh. And it set up our relationship for how we were going to do this for the rest of our existence.
Yeah. Thank you.
Andy, what was your favorite moment?
Being Andy.
Man, like I think like Kind of Funny Prom, Kind of Funny Live, things like the more kind of hardcore episodes of KFAF where me and Nick like really fucking worked hard like until like 4 a.m. editing shit. I think about like the end of Warboat, the end of Connect Between 3 and 5, where we did like the Avengers edit to kind of make it look like the Avengers movie, Infinity War.
That was fun.
Meeting Shaq. There's just a lot of stupid shit that like I think it's really cool whenever people do put together supercuts of all the different variety of things, because it just makes it look like this fucking 5 years has been so ridiculous. And it's just been such a freaking blast. So thank y'all.
Well, here's to 5 more, Andy. Thank you so much for spending your time with us.
Of course. Thanks for paying me.
Our pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for spending time with us and hopefully paying us. Remember, each and every episode of the Kind of Funny podcast is recorded live on patreon.com/kindoffunny, where you can write in to be part of it. You can get it ad-free. You can get it with the exclusive post show we do each and every episode. However, if you have no bucks to toss our way, it's no big deal. You can get a brand spanking new episode of the show each and every week on youtube.com/kindoffunny, Rooster Teeth, and podcast services around the globe each and every week. Of course, we prefer it if you go to patreon.com/kindoffunny, but if you can't, no big deal. Maybe you can use that free creator code on the Epic Game Store, KindaFunny. You can also use it on your PlayStation, Xbox, Switch if you're playing Fall Guys, Fortnite, or Rocket League. One day I'll forget the third game. It's not going to be today, but I'm just letting you know. I get out there, I jump out of the thing. Sometimes I'm ready to go. We got a post show to do for all the trogs, but until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.